There we go.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
All of those noises probably got picked up.
I don't think they did.
Those were the sweet sounds of Matt getting in a comfortable position.
You know, if I'm going to sit here for 3 to 4 hours at a time and describe scene for scene movies that are older than most of the people listening, I want to be in a comfortable position.
Yeah.
There's a lot to explain.
You require the utmost comfort when you're doing all that at once.
All of it. All of it all at once. Everywhere. And also, I'm gonna have a sip of this right here, but I'm going to do it away from the microphone over here. Over here.
Apparently, that movie is quite good. I don't know very much about it.
Me either.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that sound on the mic?
Lively beginning to the podcast here. This is good.
Oh, welcome to Grindhouse. Oh, here we are, movie club.
Yeah. Make sure your lumbar is supported.
Everybody's in the right position.
Yeah. I mean, I move around 15,000 times because of fucking ADHD, but we're in a good starting position here.
He's joking.
Lord
it's
knows
the
when we
worms.
finish. It's what?
The worms?
Oh, no, you're right. It's the worms.
Are you not a writhing bag of worms? I thought I've been podcasting with a writhing bag of worms this whole time. But
I don't really appreciate being outed publicly when I wasn't ready.
Well,
I was trying to keep that under wraps. I was in the worm closet, if you will.
The collective Borg of worm brains has finally learned to speak.
Well, here we are.
Ah, boy.
That's what it sounds like in my head all the time.
Movie Club.
That's what it is. You're listening to Grindhouse Movie Club right now, in case you haven't said it 4 times already.
Grindhouse Movie Club. I really hope that did something for
Grindhouse Movie Club.
Grindhouse Movie Club. Grindhouse. I'm whispering in both ears at the same time. I don't think this microphone does that.
I don't know if we get stereo on this. I think it's just left and right at the same time.
I'm looking at a mono track right now being recorded. So
you can maybe split it, but it'll probably come out like shit.
This has all been for nothing. Sorry everybody.
Just imagine it's like the Doppler effect. Just imagine we're passing you in a car on the highway.
Like this. Hi everybody, welcome to Grindhouse Movie Club.
That's the sound of you hitting the rumble strip. I almost got run off the road by an SUV on the drive home today.
That's pretty cool.
It was. They decided I wasn't going fast enough, so tried to merge into my lane, 2/3 ahead of me. And then when they noticed that I was there, didn't stop merging.
That's pretty cool.
And I had to hit the brakes. It was great.
Merge until there's nothing left. That's what I say.
It's really awesome when it's a fucking like rainstorm and I'm in a van from fucking 1938 with tires that are older somehow.
Why doesn't this van have like Mad Max upgrades on it yet?
It should. I should have 4 or 5 apprentices on my van on giant poles with fucking Molotov cocktails just swinging back and forth like Cirque du Soleil.
I love it. I would hire that plumber.
That's the next mod we get right there.
As long as one's playing like a guitar for no reason.
Immortan Joe Plumbing. Mediocre.
Hey, they got
that's what he says in the movie when they do the. So he has all these little fucking minions, right?
Yeah.
That they all have cancer. Anyway, when they commit suicide, they go witness me, and one of them does it, and he doesn't do any damage, but he just dies. And then Immortan Joe, which is the leader, he just yells mediocre out the window. Super disrespectful thing to hear, like right after death, if ghosts exist.
Oh man, that dude's getting haunted like it's no tomorrow.
He's gonna be ashamed all the way to hell.
But like, if that's mediocre, then what's
if you die in the process of killing many people, then it's like it's more impressive.
Oh, so everybody should just be flung into a crowd of people holding many gallons of gasoline.
Yeah, and a series of like impact explosives just in their pockets. That way they just explode into like a ball of flames in a crowd. All
right, here's the plan. We get I don't know, 365 guns.
Yep. One for every day of the year. That's good.
And we just tape them all together into a ball.
Yeah.
And we just catapult that gun ball over a crowd of these people we're trying to get.
And then we have like a fishing line attached to the collective trigger. That way, when it's like 50 feet in the air, it just starts firing.
Yeah, it just like pulls taut and just boom.
Yeah.
Just bullets in every conceivable direction. And then we, of course, would have to run.
Oh, far and fast. Both.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
no, that's good. I've been slacking on my cardio, so just give me an opportunity. I wish I could say words correctly the first time.
That's not what this podcast is about.
Holy hot and sour fuck.
Hot, sour, sweet, nectar, and also fuck.
Yeah.
The website, grindhousemovie.club. Go there.
Right there, you're gonna find so much shit relevant to the two of us.
And this. Oh, also we're on Audible.
What was the other one? Amazon?
Yeah.
And Amazon Music. So, if you're fucking super picky for some reason about what of the 30 apps you can choose from to listen to a podcast on, we're on most of them.
Yeah, and if you wait long enough, we're going to seep into all of them.
Yeah.
Like oil in the soil.
Oil in the soil.
What?
Back in the day, I saw this infograph once, and this is back like in the fucking 20s to 30s or whatever. And it might be even more recent than that. Anyway, if you have old engine oil, the recommendation was to dig a hole, fill it with gravel, and pour the oil in there. The theory being that it'll dilute itself as it goes through the gravel and it won't harm the soil. Flatly incorrect. That's also called a French drain, and I know this because plumbing.
Oh, that seems disrespectful.
They're illegal.
Can we change the name on that? Does it have to be? I feel like that's rooted in hatred somewhere.
I don't know what about the French you could attribute to just gravel and dirt. And,
those fucking French people. They're just a hole that you pour oil into. Just a gravel hole. Fucking pour
a dirty,
oil
oily hole. It's the oiliness. That's what it is.
There
it's
you
all
go.
Those buttered baguettes. Right into the podcast, grindhousemovieclub@gmail.com, and confirm or deny, as a French person, whether or not you're perpetually wet.
Yeah, we want to know if you're like a hot piece of bread in a bag. Is that you?
Do you have condensation on the outer layer?
Is it because of the butter or the warmness of the bread? Let me know.
Change the temperature when you step out of a freezer?
Ooh. Do you put, if butter touches you, does it instantly become soft and
gooey?
Ooh, and does it run down your flesh, coating you in...
We're doing Buffalo Bill now, I guess. All right. So this week we did Silence of the Lambs.
It puts the butter on its armpit. Or else it gets the
hose that's connected to a vat of butter.
Regardless.
You're going to get buttered the fuck up, all right?
Oh...
I didn't put you in the well for nothing.
Fucking butter. You know how much I've spent on butter and you're just not going to rub yourself with it?
It's a waste of resources. The fucking grocery costs are going up. Fucking astronomically across the globe right now because the crabs are missing. And you're just going to waste good condiments by not rubbing them all over yourself and rolling around on the floor.
Just makes me so mad I could tuck my penis between my legs.
Dance about it.
I'm just going to tuck my penis between my legs and dance about it. You hear that, Loblaws?
I'm doing it in your parking lot.
Would you buy me groceries? I would buy me groceries. I'd buy me groceries so hard. Goodbye, horses.
The second that the chorus kicks in, he's in front of the produce section, and all of the sprinklers come on.
And
like a light show, but with
I
water.
love it. And then I ruin a couple carrots.
3.
Boy,
2 of them were in the tray. We're not going to talk about the third carrot I ruined.
What movie? What movie did we do this week?
Well, this week we did, in honor of the fact that Scream 6 is coming out impossibly very soon, or is out already. I don't know. I've been too focused on Cocaine Bear to look at anything else.
So what you're saying is not in honor at all, but by coincidence.
By sheer coincidence, we're doing the original Scream from 1996?
Scream? I thought this movie was called Shout.
Oh, no, that's a song by Depeche Mode?
Oh. And it's not called Yell?
No, that's just a verb.
A holler.
That is that's like a forest, like a wooded area that you go like hunting in.
I think you're thinking of a hollow.
Yeah, sure. A holler also, like, there's a Coulter Wall song. Like, this isn't gonna fucking make any sense to anybody. But like country singers, they talk about going down into that holler. Like, what is that?
I don't know.
Is that just like a small town in a valley?
I think it's like a code. for like where you go and do sins to your body or somebody else's body, you know?
Oh, we're going to go down to the holler and only one of us is going to come out?
Well, only one of us is going to come out dry.
Because of the butter. See, it all comes back, you know? Full circle. We did Scream this week.
Shriek? It wasn't Screech or Shriek.
No.
Squeal?
You're just on thesaurus.com on your phone looking up synonyms to scream.
Call
right
out?
Now. I know that you are.
Call at the top of one's voice?
That's a phrase. That's not a synonym.
That's my favorite movie that was directed by Wes Craven.
Wes Craven? It sounds more like a Wes Anderson movie.
He's got one about some other thing coming out. I don't care about it.
Yeah, no, you will though.
No,
because
I won't.
you kind of will a little. It's got Jeff Goldblum in it.
He's in all of them.
That's true. A lot of the people who are in all of Wes Anderson's movies are in it. Steve Carell's in it though.
The more I look around and see cartoon backgrounds, the less I care.
It's kind of shocking how many there's 3 ways to know a Wes Anderson movie. Okay. The first one is very pulled back, wide establishing shot where you get to see the entire frame, like essentially the entire setting. That shot I think it's called a dolly where they go sideways.
I think so, yeah. Or a truck.
Or a truck, either way. That'll either dolly or truck in slowly to a stop and like on a still frame, and then very colorful. The other way to know a Wes Anderson movie is the nose-to-face ratio is insanely high. You got fucking Jason Schwartzman, Tilda Swinton, Steve Carell, Jeff Goldblum, and Adrian Brody all in one movie. You're just going to be watching noses flare for an hour and a half. Because you can't fit anything else in the frame at any time.
Eskimo kissing for an hour and a half.
And they're 10 feet away from each other.
The other thing is everybody will be dressed like an asshole. Nobody
Carell, he put one of those fucking one of those green see-through like accountant hats on him. So you're right.
Yep.
So you're dead right.
Yep. Everybody's dressed like an asshole.
Yeah. No, you nailed it.
Thanks, Wes Anderson.
Really appreciate your palettes, to be quite honest. If you want to see a beautiful movie that doesn't make much sense, look up anything by Wes Anderson.
And that's our sponsored message of the day.
Speaking of Wes's, we did Wes Craven Scream this week for the podcast.
Yes, and it wasn't Whale or Yelp either.
No.
It was Scream. I looked it up.
It's good that you did. I would be worried about getting the name wrong.
Do you have a 2 sentences or less?
As a matter of fact, I do. Not only do I have a 2 sentences or less, I came up with this on the fly about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, you and me both, baby. You and me both.
It's a little bit of a poem.
Okay.
It's not quite a haiku. I scream. You scream. We all scream for Rose McGowan to die earlier in this movie.
That's rude.
Rose McGowan in this movie is the worst actor on camera in this movie. That's Ghostface is a better actor, and his face just doesn't move.
And which one is Rose? I don't.
Rose McGowan is Tatum.
Ah, yes.
The shittiest friend in any high school ever.
The most disrespectful.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Almost every word out of her mouth is rude to someone.
I used to sit next to her. Not anymore.
And her way of acting, and I don't know where she gets this method from, but is to move her eyes and mouth around like Daffy Duck or Bugs Bunny.
I didn't notice that, but I'll take your word for it.
So over emotive that I had to rewind a couple spots and actually listen to the words she said because she was so distracting in the face.
Well, that's not good for your film when somebody's looks make you go, what?
What'd you say just then?
Excuse me, can we just rewind to the film? I'd like to know what her eyebrows were saying.
I was busy watching her basically literally read the screen direction like it was a table read instead of acting.
Well, I got 2 sentences.
Okay. Let's hear them both. I'm ready.
All right. If you needed a 13th reason to not answer the phone, this is it right here. This is your 13th reason.
Because that's how many times Drew Barrymore picks up the fucking phone at the beginning of the movie?
Pretty much. She puts up with that shit way longer than anybody would.
Holy shit.
It's that or, when you see Matthew Lillard, at the end there's going to be a Scooby-Doo mask reveal where the kill, where whoever is doing the bad thing is just not who you thought it was the entire time.
No, it's always, anytime you see Matthew Lillard's face, you know that they're going to pull the mask off and you're going to gasp because it's old man Winston.
That's basically the two sentences. just retold in a better way.
The movie opens with Drew Barrymore's dementia-addled grandfather calling the house, and she's just so sick of him that she pretends that it's a wrong number. I say that because the voice modulator makes this person seem like every word is labored. Like it's difficult to say these words a little bit. Later on, it picks up, but at the hello. Oh, Gramps, are you off your meds again?
What's your favorite movie?
And then she does the responsible thing that any Home Alone teen girl does and promptly hangs up the phone. And then he calls back and she just picks it the fuck up. Rinse, repeat, like, without exaggerating, like 6 times. She doesn't learn a lesson once, twice, or the third time.
Not only does she picks up that phone after 2 rings. Who the fuck is like, ring? I got it.
Especially a landline? Like, I'm in a different room.
Yeah, nobody is ever
Chances are I'm not even going to hear the phone.
So yeah. Whoever this mystery person is calls and they go, well, who's this? Like, what number have I called?
What are you doing?
Now, like, I don't use the phone that often, but
yeah.
I don't believe that's good phone etiquette.
No.
You should probably know who you're calling before you call them.
Yeah, otherwise you just outed yourself as having dialed a random number and you lose all your credibility at that point. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want to engage with you in this conversation because, as it turns out, I don't know you either.
Yeah, and so she tells him to, like, oh, you just want to talk? Well, they've got 900 numbers for that.
Yeah.
Which is a sex hotline thing.
Yes, it is.
Back in the day, if you wanted to just pull it off and just be done with it and just have maybe $100 to $200 less in your bank account.
You're just 7 digits away from somebody whispering about how big your dick that they can't see is.
Likely theirs too. Just whispering about big dicks.
Already Drew Barrymore tells a stranger way too much information about her night. I'm getting ready to watch a video, which also, like, and then she has to clarify that it's a scary movie. Like, yeah, you do. Because if I hear I'm getting ready to watch a video, it doesn't sound like a scary movie.
She calls a movie a video.
Also that. But these are all VHS tapes as well. So you got to remember what time we're in.
It's still a movie.
You're right.
Calling a movie a video is something like 80-year-olds do.
Anytime that I refer to a movie as a video, it's an adult one.
You've gone incognito to check out this video.
Christian Bale in American Psycho consistently says, I need to return some videotapes. Always porno. It's always porno he has to return.
It's
also do them all at once. Like,
you know what? Is it porno?
Yeah.
Don't return it.
That's yours now.
You fucking keep it. I know it's been in within like a radius of you.
Yeah.
Doing something horrible.
Also, like, by slapping that down on the fucking counter at the adult video store, you're basically saying, yeah, I watched this, and now I'm done with it.
It's been used.
Yeah.
Peel it off the counter.
And I never want to watch this one again, specifically.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. 9/11 has just changed the way people answer the phone. is the point we're trying to make here.
Yeah.
You know how easy it was, like, before 9/11 to just be unavailable?
So easy, right?
Oh, this person's calling you over and over again. Unplug the phone.
Yep.
That's all.
And guess what? They can't reach you anymore, and neither can anyone else.
Which is fine. You're going to watch a video anyway.
Yeah. You want privacy for that.
Yeah, this is where he, like, gives you the line, you know?
Yeah.
What's your favorite scary movie?
And then she just shits on fucking... It's funny to me because this is Wes Craven's movie, and he took time out to shit on his own franchise.
You know, at least he's got a sense of humor there.
Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, the first one's great. The rest of them fucking suck! And Wes has to just sit there behind the fucking director's camera like...
You know she's right.
She might be onto something.
Boy, oh boy.
She sits through way too many fucking questions. Like, what's your name? Do you have a boyfriend? I'm hanging up after any one of these questions over the phone.
Yeah,
from a stranger.
Well, what kind of fucking survey is this?
Also, for a movie that puts so much emphasis on making sure that you watch movies so that you know the formula and the rules of being in a horror movie, nobody in this movie has seen When a Stranger Calls.
Nobody has seen...
They would know that when a stranger calls, it's never good. And they're likely in the house.
Nobody's ever seen any horror movie, yet they all they do is reference horror movies.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to know how to act when they're in the horror movies that they're talking about.
They fucking... Yeah, the movie, like, outlines... Scream itself outlines a bunch of rules to survive a horror movie, and then most of the characters promptly ignore their own rules that they've made.
Yeah, so this movie, I wanted to have a list because during this entire film, they reference just movies. It's just if they're not referencing a movie, they're implying a reference to a movie.
You want the fucking list?
If they're not naming the film, they're...
Yeah.
Do you have it? Because I
have it.
How many do you have in your list?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I know I missed a couple.
I got 26.
Okay.
Well,
duplicates don't count.
This is
how many?
This is IMDb.
Okay, fine.
All right. So give me your list, and then I'll see if there's any other ones.
All right. So this movie is very famous for those who haven't seen it, which is probably the majority of you, unless you're a huge horror fan. And if you're not, like, why the fuck are you listening to Grindhouse Movie Club?
They love our sultry voices.
Oh, that's it? Mm. Well, in the event that you have not seen Scream, the movie is very famous for making various references to other horror movies, a lot of which were made by the director as well. On my list, I have Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, The Howling, I Spit on Your Grave, Prom Night, Halloween, Hellraiser, Terror Train, Casper, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho, Carrie, and Lethal Instinct.
God damn. All right. So according to IMDb, we got Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Part 2.
Okay, it's still Friday the 13th, though.
Prom Night, The Howling.
Yep.
Basic Instinct, The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Basic Instinct, not Lethal Instinct.
My
God.
I got it.
And that's only just because of the Sharon Stone reference. Because in Basic Instinct, that's the scene where she's sitting in the chair in the interrogation room and she opens her legs and closes them again. She just flashes her puss, basically.
They talk about Sharon Stone a lot in this movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the reference to the same scene over and over. I could be wrong.
Well,
also Meg Ryan, for some reason, Wes Craven loves to talk about Meg Ryan.
He's the only one. That's a very lonely chat room to be in. So we've got E.T.
Yeah, E.T. Okay.
We got Evil Dead, Hellraiser.
Evil Dead. Yeah, I missed that one.
I think it's just one of the movies that he brought to the party.
Yeah.
Terror Train, The Fog, The Exorcist.
The Fog. And The Exorcist. Yeah, okay. No, that's fine.
I Spit on Your Grave.
I started this list about a third of the way through the movie, and I just tried to remember the rest.
I started just noticing the references, and then I was like, there's probably a bunch I'm not getting.
Yeah.
And then they just started pouring in like the hole in the Titanic just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I was like, all right, I can't contain all this water.
Yeah,
we're just going to do it this way.
By the end, yeah, they're just talking about Jamie Lee Curtis for an hour.
Yeah. So we got the original Texas Chainsaw, All the Right Moves.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Which is a film. Who's in it? Tom Cruise. And in this film, what they talk about is the scene in the movie where if you pause it at the right moment, you can see Tom Cruise's penis.
Oh.
So.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Then we got Silence of the Lambs.
That Scientologist penis must be real small.
Clerks. Are You in the House Alone? Trading Places, Psycho, Carrie, Clueless, and then Apollo 13, which I don't remember.
Apollo 13. A moon landing reference of some kind, maybe?
This movie came out a year after this movie, so I don't know how that...
Oh.
They must have saw that as they were filming the movie and just all right, remember how Tom Hanks pissed in a thing and they shot it into space and then everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's littering in space.
Fucking litter bug.
No.
Anyway, so now that you know all of those references, if we mention one during this and we don't pick up on it, you at home could be like, oh, look at this
hey, that thing I got there.
Because
I haven't seen maybe 10 of the movies on that fucking list.
Yeah, me either. I haven't heard of half of them. Anyway.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore was on the fucking phone for no reason because she should have just taken the batteries out of the goddamn thing already.
And this whole time, the Jiffy Pop on the stove.
Dude!
Look, I had not seen this. I saw this movie when I was like 6.
Yeah.
And my mom had to turn it off like partway through because I believe it was Drew Barrymore's guts hanging out.
Yeah, well, she's hung from a tree.
Pretty upsetting.
Intestines on the ground still, though.
Steaming intestines.
Well, it was chilly out.
Yeah. So, like, I saw that, but I've seen Scary Movie 1 so many times.
Yeah. So, I'm so happy that you said that,
Scary Movie just keeps getting funnier and funnier the more I watch this movie.
I'm so fucking happy that you said that because the second I saw the Jiffy Pop, that's a fucking fantastic example. Oh, you remember that in Scary Movie when it got so big that it was like floating off of the stove? I had a difficult time watching this movie because I've seen Scary Movie enough times to quote it. And I probably front to back, and I have not seen Scream that many times. So anytime that there was a scene in Scream, I was like, oh, fuck, it's a Scary Movie part, right?
Oh, my God.
Like, Billy fucking crawls in the window, and I'm like, when's James Vanderbeek going to show up and go, whoops, wrong set?
There's I remember the bit where Dewey's got the mask and he's holding it up as she opens the door.
Yeah, dude.
I forget what happens in Scary Movie. I just remember him being startled.
Yeah, he gets startled by Cindy, which is Anna Faris's name in Scary Movie, not Sidney, Neve Campbell's name in this movie, which is so close that it's almost copyright infringement. He gets startled by her, and then he looks at the mask and he gets startled again, even though he's holding it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot going on.
That, and then also when they're doing the sleepover and the killer calls the house.
Oh,
and fucking Dewey comes out with a gun, but in Scary Movie he comes out with a vacuum because he's fucking jerking off with it. And he goes, I told you not to disturb me while I'm cleaning my room.
And then he still picks up the phone and is like, hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Look, I didn't realize that character was actually a silly person in this serious movie.
I completely forgot how bumblingly retarded Deputy Dewey is.
Poor David Arquette.
I have a lot to say about Deputy Dewey because as a character he's stupid and the character is stupid.
And well, his name is Dewey.
Yeah.
It's Dwight.
Are you moist every morning?
Ew.
You know, like,
ew.
The last name Smith comes from, because, like, blacksmiths back in, like, the Middle Age, like, that's, like, etymology of last names. A lot of last names that exist now, especially with white people, are from just their profession at the time.
Oh, no, I get it.
Dewey, he's just wet. He's wet at 7.
I feel like...
Wet at 7 sounds like a motel that you go to with a prostitute.
Wet at 7. It sounds like a very... just like on the ball cleaning service. 7 o'clock, it's time to get wet.
Yeah, it's wet already. Wet and soapy at 7.
I feel like I had a childhood doctor at some point. Instead of saying the word penis, he used the word Dewey, and it. So whenever I hear the word Dewey, I think of. Ooh.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder if that's what he's named after.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
It's maybe a little bit more prolific of a moniker for penis than one might think.
Anyway, so he's a dumb guy, and
he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Delightfully surprised. So Drew Barrymore's got this phone call, and every time she picks up the phone, this dude's voice gets a little more raspy.
And he says something worse than the last time he was on the phone.
It's a little more upsetting every time.
I want to know what I'm looking at. And then, I want to see what your insides look like. Which, again, from Scary Movie, Carmen Electra goes, well, then turn to page 37 or whatever.
Yeah, she does.
Like, fucking, he's just on a bench opening a fucking Playboy pinup.
And I think it folds out quite a bit.
Yeah, it does.
I do recall.
And he goes, nice.
Yeah, so he's like, what's your name? And, well, why do you want to know? Because I want to know who I'm looking at. And suddenly answering the phone became less of a good idea, eh?
Oh, surprise. And then, so that prompts her to lock one door in her whole house, and none of the rest of the doors until later.
And you're telling me you were in the middle of nowhere gonna plop down in front of the fucking couch
for a video
at night?
Doors unlocked.
Doors unlocked, and
boyfriend suspiciously absent,
and you're gonna watch Halloween with the doors unlocked,
and you're like 15.
Good Lord, and barefoot too.
Yeah.
So if you're listening at home, picture Drew Barrymore's feet.
Drew Barefooty more.
Did you know that Drew Barrymore?
Barryfoot. That's better.
She insisted on being barefoot.
Why?
Because she hates wearing shoes.
That's just a thing about her.
That's a thing.
She doesn't like wearing shoes.
No.
You know who loves wearing shoes is Neve fucking Campbell. Later on in the movie, Sidney comes home and it's after school and she lays down on the couch and she puts her shoed feet right up on her fucking dead mom's furniture.
I don't know if that's disrespectful or just an American thing. I feel like Americans don't take their shoes off.
I doubt they're the only culture of people to do that, but that's something that I do consider to be very American, is just wearing your shoes in the house.
Yeah.
Actually, specifically having indoor shoes for the house.
Yeah. I'm on sitcoms, they're always wearing their shoes, but I feel like that's just because nobody wants to see socked feet.
Yeah, because they're probably filthy. You're walking around a dirty fucking film set all day.
And
then if you want to see bare feet, well, you're either Quentin Tarantino or the CEO of Nickelodeon, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Have you ever noticed that their logo is a big foot? And the majority of their female stars have many scenes in their shows where they're barefoot.
Yeah.
Soaping up their bare feet. Ariana Grande did it 16 times.
No, I didn't notice any of that, Jay.
Well,
you lost me after the logo.
Nick.
Feet on television.
You made it so much better.
Her response to that is "listen, asshole," which should have been her fucking response to the second phone call.
Yeah, no, it should have been. The second "do you have a boyfriend" comes up.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Also, why would you lie and say no when you should be saying yes to a stranger?
No, she wasn't lying. She said, yeah, he's on his way.
Yeah, when she gets panicked. But before that, she's like, I don't have a boy. No, I don't have one.
How disrespectful.
What the fuck? Yeah, also, yes. You're going to talk to a stranger on the phone, and it's like a Tinder profile. You're just going to pretend you're not in a relationship?
Wait until Steve shows up.
Yeah, dude. Oh, he's
catches
big.
You talking on the phone to some...
He plays football, and he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah. And,
good luck finding me, because you don't know what I look like.
He also he's not privy to the situation at all. I don't think he's just going to start kicking ass the second he sees somebody.
Can you come over and beat the shit out of this guy who's been accosting me on the phone? I mean, he's on the phone, so do I have to come over? Where is he?
Can you just...
Oh, end of conversation.
Yeah, can you just hang up the phone?
Yeah, can you just take the batteries out of the phone until I'm there?
Speaking of, the dude who does the voice on the phone... nobody ever meets this guy. Mm-hmm. He's just a voice on the phone to them as well.
Yep. So, also, he did all of those in real time on set.
Nice.
They just hit him.
Good.
Yeah, it is. If I want a scary voice on the phone, I want to not know that it's just a frog man that looks like the guy from Human Centipede 2 on the other end. I don't know if you looked up what he looks like, but that's what he fucking looks like, all right?
I looked him up, and that's what that's what he fucking looks like. Oh. So he's got this humble request of I just would like to see what your insides look like.
Is that too much?
Apparently it's far too much.
Can you take them out?
But it's whatever. And so I think that's where she's like, hey, yeah, I got my boyfriend's on the way and he's gonna whoop you.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, yeah, she was lying before, but the only thing that she was lying about was her boyfriend's ability to kick ass.
Yeah, duct tape to a chair and the shit beaten out of him isn't a good look for somebody who is about to provide a whooping as opposed to having received one.
Right.
This is the first example of shitty voiceover in this movie, of which there is plenty. There is so much bad voiceover.
You need to stop paying attention to this so much. I didn't notice a lick of it. So.
The whole Steve has duct tape over his mouth, but he's yelling words still, and you can tell his mouth is not moving even remotely.
You never yelled through duct tape?
You can see cheekbones, jaws, and throat moving when somebody yells, regardless of how much duct tape there is.
This guy's never been fucking duct
tape
a day in his life.
I've listened to a lot of people yell through duct tape.
At some point, this dude rings the doorbell, and she's like, "Who's there?"
Who do you think?
And then he even calls her and is like, what are you, dumb?
Are you stupid? It's me.
He's like, you never ever ask who's there in a horror movie.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
You might as well go investigate a noise outside, which is something that other people do in this movie later on.
So, while I was watching this movie, I started putting stars down next to scenes
where they give like horror advice.
No, where I feel like somebody's doing something suspicious because. Look, spoiler alert, this is a gigantic whodunit.
Yeah, it is.
When you boil it down...
This is Knives Out.
Who done it?
Yeah.
So I started
What's that chick's name? The Poirot... damn it! I'm never... Agatha Christie. This is an Agatha Christie movie.
It might as well be. And so I think I just actually discovered another one when he does call and he's like, hey, have you ever seen a horror movie? You never ask who's there.
Yeah.
Fucking bing. That just gives it away right there.
A couple things give it away. Give the killer away from like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, but they give everybody a moment to make you go, what?
Fair enough.
But like that right there, that just gave it away for me, even though I just watched this film yesterday.
How about this? He rang the doorbell. That means he's still outside.
Yeah.
Lock the doors and hide somewhere that's away from the giant bay windows on the main floor of your house.
Go out the back door. He's at the front door. What are you doing?
I mean, you're going to run into Steve at the back door.
That's fine.
It is, because he's tied up. It's not like he's going anywhere.
You can let him go. You could untie Steve there.
I think he deserves to be punished for not being a good enough boyfriend to beat up a killer.
Yeah, he should have just been kicking ass the second he saw somebody in costume.
Yes.
Always beat up anybody in costume.
Somebody in costume and it's not Halloween or Pride? Yes.
Absolutely.
Did you know E3 got canceled this year?
No, I don't know. What's that?
E3?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the acronym is, but it's the giant games convention that's every year, video games.
Nice.
Anyway, they can't fill the stadium anymore because nobody wants to go to E3.
Well, that sucks.
That's my story.
I just found out about its existence right now.
Oh, man, it's like it used to be anyway, a fucking huge deal. But
well, I mean,
nobody wants to go outside and stand in a crowd of 2,000 people. I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know. 2
cases of fucking bird flu in North America over the past week.
Oh, yeah, bird flu and also bullets.
Yeah, tons of those.
Bullets in bodies.
Tons of those. We're going to gloss over the bullets and bodies, I think. Just for the sake of the lightness of the atmosphere here.
So, yeah, during the phone call, this gentleman on the phone wants to play a game.
Guess what? No.
Years before the movie Saw came out, people were playing games.
And with lives on the line.
With lives on the goddamn line.
This game, though, painfully easy. And Drew Barrymore deserves what she gets for not being able to answer all the questions correctly.
Real easy questions.
Yep.
So
what's the fucking name of the goddamn guy from Nightmare on Elm Street that we just talked about? What's the name of the killer in fucking Friday the 13th? And it's like I tricked you. But nah, anybody who's seen fucking Friday the 13th knows it's mom. Mm-hmm. That's like the easiest shit.
So yeah, there's she gets the to be honest. So there's the test question is the first one. It's like who's the killer in Halloween?
Yeah,
it's like, so here's the first question, and she gets it wrong. The first question, number one, you get number one wrong.
Not the best. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire run?
Yeah, suddenly your opinion on Nightmare on Elm Street
now you're just a slumdog.
Means so much less. Nah, Slumdog. That guy knew his.
The millionaire one did, but there were plenty of other slumdogs around that didn't have the exactly specific life experiences that would allow them to answer every single question.
That's right. You didn't say Slumdog Millionaire. You just said Slumdog.
Yeah, because you're not a millionaire. Well, she's not a millionaire because you got the first fucking question wrong. She's just a slumdog now. Boom. See?
So what ends up being probably the fastest disembowelment I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In the matter of her like flicking the light off, answering the question wrong, and then hearing a shing 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 shing, and then flipping the light on, guts.
Like fucking
guts out.
What's the Ninja Turtle with the size?
The
purple, I think.
Donatello?
Well, whichever one has the fucking size. Ghostface moves that one singular knife he's got with the same speed as that turtle.
We'll say Donatello.
Yeah, sure, Donatello.
Donatello. I think he was the purple one anyway. Yeah, so fastest gutting, just guts right out. And then, so the bonus question, because she's lost his life, one more chance to live. What door am I at?
I don't care. I'm just going to lock them all. Not that it matters, because he just throws a chair through the goddamn window anyway.
Yeah, it kind of gives it away, too.
Yeah. Oh, ruined.
He set the chair window.
It's the worst game of charades ever.
Yeah.
Or the best.
So she takes off. This whole time, this Jiffy Pop is still on the stove.
Like, so she's traipsing around the place, locking doors procedurally, even though it's far too late to do so. And then, all the while, the kitchen and living room are filling with thick smoke. And you don't think, just like, while I'm panicking, I might as well take the burning thing off of the burner.
Yeah, no, let's let this fun popcorn combust.
Fine.
Bag's huge, on fire too. Like it's fire.
Yes.
It's a fire.
We're just gonna leave that though. We're gonna let the house burn down. That way he can get to me more easily.
Yeah. What a wasted Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, dude.
Which is popcorn, by the way. And for anybody who isn't American and hasn't,
I think it's more prolific in the States.
I feel like it is. I just know it's look, it's a tinfoil tray of popcorn and a handle, so you can put it right on the stove.
Yeah, and you turn the burner on, and that shit inflates, and you know it's done when it starts to spit smoke at you.
So what? I think we can all agree that at this point, the Jiffy Pop is fucking done.
Yeah, and it was in a jiffy.
Let's go. Get it off the stove.
You want that last meal.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
if I'm going to be eviscerated, it might as well be with a full stomach so he gets a little dirty.
There comes a point where when you leave it on, you're no longer, like, cooking those last few kernels that didn't pop. You're burning the ones that did.
Yeah.
Just sacrifice it. Who cares if they didn't pop? They were duds.
Okay, there's always like 3 dozen kernels at the bottom that didn't pop. Always.
Yeah, exactly. You're just not going to get them to pop. They'll never pop.
No. Some of them are duds.
Anyway, so we can. I mean, I'm just mad about the popcorn.
Yeah.
She doesn't take it off.
She puts it on before he even calls. Like, so she's just essentially like prioritizing potential phone sex over burning the house down.
Ooh, sexual phone sex with a stranger in the dark.
Well, she turns the lights on.
Sexual phone calls after night.
So in the morning?
Yes.
So she gets fucking chased outside. And then at the same time that she's being chased and stabbed, her parents come home.
Yeah, she sees their car like coming down this road, and it seems like it comes down this road for a very long time.
Yeah, while she's hiding, and the killer is inside the burning house, still looking for the alive person that would have definitely left. Yeah,
I mean, not his brightest moment.
No, he has a very few bright moments in this fucking movie.
Well, I mean, at the end of the movie, it all comes together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's like crouched outside by the windows, like trying to like go underneath them. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know why she bothers to check to see if the coast is clear, but she looks and there's Ghostface.
Well, it's not.
There's Ghostface right there.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's turned around though.
All of that time he looks back twice and he's still fucking traipsing around the living room. You could have run at any one of those moments. Mm-hmm. You chose the one where, like, the point where he's finally just like, well, she's probably outside.
He's just going to stand by the window and turn around at the right time.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, parents are still coming. It's like the road from that viral video.
No Through Road.
I was thinking the thing that pops up and scares you, where it's like a car commercial.
Oh, the zombie?
It's coming down that winding ass fucking road.
And then a zombie screams from the corner.
Yeah, except without that, you get Ghostface just turning around.
There is a short film on YouTube that I would actually recommend called No Through Road. And it's about 2 guys driving at night and they get lost and the road just continues forever. And then eventually, like, bad, like, scary stuff happens. It's actually very good. It's it's like fucking 17 minutes or something. It's worth it.
Okay. If I remember tonight, maybe I'll flip it on.
Now, these parents deserve to have their daughter killed. Mm-hmm. Because
they certainly do.
They show up in the driveway as Drew Barrymore is being slain on the lawn.
Not even the lawn, the side yard.
And screaming, and they notice nothing at all.
Yeah, they walk into a house where there is a fire happening.
Yeah.
It's not hard to tell if a house is on fire.
No, because there's smoke. And you know what they say?
Where there's smoke, there's bad parenting.
Fucking Ghostface has like 10, 15 minutes to get his whole, his Hannibal-esque fucking design situated before they realize that their daughter's not in the house.
Yeah, they walk around, it's a big house. So
fucking
like,
20 feet away.
Drew Barrymore, where are you?
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore. Before she gets murdered, she's like, they're in the window. He breaks the window and grabs her, and she bashes his fucking face in with that huge cordless phone.
You have to understand, in the 90s, landlines were the size of something like a rock you'd use to kill a bouncer.
It's honestly,
you can fight Sasquatch off with a landline phone.
They used to design things to last.
Yeah.
So
instead of to break after less than a year.
This house phone is a brick with an antenna.
And some buttons.
And it takes one hot strike to the face and he's down.
And like that's a protected, there's like a rubber mask, so there's a little bit, it's going to soften the blow a little bit, and he still gets trucked by that thing.
Yeah, and this is not the only time this happens in this movie. Phones
and doors for some reason.
1996 especially, phones and doors were just the thickest.
Yeah, it's like the Berlin Wall, those things.
You buy like a self-defense phone. Well, just one with like a chain so you can swing it.
That phone you put in your chest pocket, it'll stop a bullet.
Yeah. And by the way, nobody had a phone.
Yeah. No, it was mom's phone.
Yeah.
It was mom and dad's fucking phone.
Oh, yeah.
Not yours.
No. So we're just things to keep in mind as we're...
Yeah. No, I hate that point because I agree, but it makes
changed.
The movie stupid later. But I hate that point.
It does. The times have changed, but let me tell you, the movies stay the same. So we got... Yeah, just the parents are just like walking around like, where is Drew Barrymore? You can't leave Drew Barrymore alone. The popcorn's on fire. Oh boy, we're gonna have to redo everything.
I wrote pretty succinctly how angry these parents made me. Her parents come home and don't notice what at least looks like exhibitionist BDSM right on the front lawn, 20 feet from the car. I'll notice a cat in a cornfield from an airplane.
Oh yeah.
Oh look, there's a cat right there, 100 feet away from me.
Fucking adorable.
I'd be a fantastic father because I would know where my child is if they're that close.
You just sense it.
Apparently, that's all it takes. My
child is on the front lawn and a little bit on the side yard. How could this be?
I can smell him.
Yeah. For all of the time it takes the parents to just like walk around and be like, hey, what's going on here?
Apparently that's how long it takes to string up a full grown person
and pull their guts out.
Yeah, and leave them dangling.
As well, before like the murder happens, Drew Barrymore manages to pull this mask off. We don't see the face.
Yeah, but there's like a moment of realization.
And she sees it, and then like this dude, when he stabs, he's like, it's knife over the head, both hands. Like
well, you know what they like boxing training? They say you have to punch through your opponent.
Yeah,
it's the same in stabbing training.
You got to stab through him.
Yeah,
stab through.
He was trying to put that knife into the patio.
He wanted to, put a real nick right in the patio where their daughter died, so that every time they go down those stairs,
we got to get walnuts.
Drew Barrymore.
For those who don't know, you can get scratches out of furniture from like cat claws and stuff by rubbing walnuts on it. That's true.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's good to know. So
that's the first death of the movie.
We cut to who? Sidney.
Yeah, just smoke show 1996. Neve Campbell. Let me be honest. Let me just get that right out of the way. This woman is a 10.
I'm going to ask you to stop being so honest.
In 1996. Also, I'm pretty sure she's like 23, so I'm allowed to say it.
Well, she's sitting there click-clacking away on some computer.
Okay.
All right.
If you had a computer in 1996, it looked like The Matrix.
Well, yeah.
It was called MS-DOS, and it's essentially just coding. Everybody who was on computers in the 90s is a fucking coding genius. By today's standards. I don't care.
That or they just...
Because you could just get into command prompt and make the computer like say fuck you at like random intervals throughout the day.
You could also play Minesweeper.
You sure could. And Commodore 64 was out.
I don't know what that is, but Minesweeper.
It was like one step up from Atari. You just got like crappy games.
Well, computer already came with crappy games. I don't need more.
Tension Sting. So this, I was confused a little bit by the the score in this movie on a couple occasions. Because every so often it turns into Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah, it goes from like a very small snippet of a popular song where the lyrics kind of apply to the moment.
Yeah.
And then,
just 1990s,
dun, dun.
Action movie when
Dun,
like
dun, dun,
a
dun,
really
dun.
tense scene is happening.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
So she's typing away on the fucking shit, and then Billy
90s his way into the fucking up the old
say
fucking
it,
rose
say
trellis.
There's no trellis.
There's no trellis.
I looked and I fucking looked at the front and back and side of that house. There is no trellis. There's vines on the pillars on the front patio. I can only assume he got onto the roof from the upstairs balcony that you see Sidney walking up later on. Because otherwise, there's no fucking way to get up to the second floor where her bedroom is. I was angry because I looked, and he doesn't climb up through the window. He climbs in from the side. So I was like, is this just a fucking set? Did they really just... They just let that happen? They let it be obvious that it's a set? So I fucking rewound and fucking forward and back, making sure that I was right. And I'm not. So good. I was gonna be so angry. That was like the most egregious shit right at the beginning of the movie.
I didn't notice.
Oh,
I should have. I should pay more attention to where there's rose trellis and where there's
So he was just on the roof, like It Follows.
Like
Except
naked.
he hadn't taken his dick out yet. Yet he really wants to though in this scene. Oh my god.
Oh my
This scene. When Billy shows up can basically be boiled down to an older boyfriend shaming somebody into sex for like days.
Well, I don't know if he's shaming her. He definitely is like, look, I don't want to break your underpants rule.
Yeah, first of all, anybody who has an underpants rule, you're not going to get in there. It's a rule.
It's
so stop barking.
It's become mentioned enough that it's a rule.
The underwear rule is like the fucking chicken wire mesh that people put on trees so squirrels can't climb them.
That's exactly what it was.
And you're the squirrel.
That's what it was in Scary Movie.
Yeah, no,
it was electrified.
Yeah, it was. And there was also bats and a bush that needed a hedge trimmer to shave down.
That's right.
See? And then Freddie Prinze Jr. Now, I don't know if you saw this on the trivia page. This is fucked. Stu, who was played by Matthew Lillard in this movie, best character in the whole movie. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best. Was originally supposed to be Freddie Prinze Jr.
That would have been great.
Who is Fred Jones in Scooby-Doo. Matthew Lillard is Shaggy. Now, Matthew Lillard got this role dropping his girlfriend off for an audition for a different movie. So he lucked into it. Then, in Scary Movie, guess what character Freddie Prinze Jr. plays?
Oh me, oh my.
Fucking Stu. 6 Degrees of Matthew Lillard.
I like that more than the bacon.
Matthew Lillard is one of my favorite actors on earth, and I'm so happy he's in this movie because he made it so much better.
The 6 degrees of Matthew Lillard, 3 of them are at least Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo or hotter.
Scooby-True. Also, I looked up his IMDb, and he still voices Shaggy in like almost all of the iterations of Scooby-Doo up to this point.
I mean, when you got it, you got it.
Yeah, you can't go back to a different voice after hearing that. He nails it in the live action.
It's the one. It's the only one.
He's the guy.
In this scene, we get to see that she's got like this closet door behind her door that when these two doors are open, put together, they cannot be opened. It's
essentially putting the chair under the doorknob.
Yeah,
right.
So she's got a door that lets her kind of do that, and her dad tries to come in while her boyfriend is over.
Well, because she was startled by the man on her roof.
She
coming in.
She let a little yell.
Yeah.
So that alerted her dad, whom, by the way, terrible. I don't want to say like worst father of the year, but he's definitely a nominee because he heard his daughter scream, and then he came in like, "Did you scream? I heard screaming. No scream. See you later."
See you later for the weekend.
He fucking pokes his head through the door. "I'm going to an expo for the entire weekend. Goodbye, Sidney."
Here's the 2 rules that I want you to abide by, neither of which I remember, because once again, Scary Movie. And don't forget to flush your stash. If the cops show up, I never heard of you. Way better rules to give your teenage daughter before you leave for the weekend.
Is there trouble? None? All right, that's my duty as a father. Goodbye.
Yep. Good luck.
I know I heard screaming, but
I know this weekend is the anniversary of your mother's death. But see ya.
I thought I might go to some sort of fucking
anywhere
expo.
But this house.
What does he even say he's he is going to an expo.
Yeah, they're vague.
Yeah.
They don't really explain what he does, which is fine. You don't need to know.
We just needed something that could potentially take the entire weekend.
So Billy, now this is, you were talking about how in the Drew Barrymore scene there is a bit of like a drop of who the killer might be.
Yes.
The first one for me was when I saw Billy in the movie.
Yeah, I
could have not ever seen this and been like, that's the killer, at least one of them. It's at least one of the killers. Why? Because his hair and the fact that he looks like a jaguar stalking an antelope all movie. He's got this predatory fucking eyebrows raised, I'm looking down look for the whole fucking movie. Even when he's trying to be consoling to fucking Sidney when she gets attacked later, he still looks like he wants to literally eat her.
They both people who may or may not be killers have
the sinister look that says, I'm a killer.
They have a very brow-forward look, where the brow extends much further than the face does.
So this conversation between Billy and Sidney can be boiled down to, you used to be a real slut. What happened?
Oh, right. Yeah, he's like, I was watching TV and The Exorcist came on, but it was...
Yeah. It was edited for TV, which made me think of our relationship because you're not fucking anymore. How come you're not fucking like we used to? Is it because you're dead, Mom?
He puts it, I mean, it's a little
later
more
on, he just goes, you should
metaphorical.
get over that. It's been a year.
Oh my God, that's my favorite thing. Dead mom.
It's fine. I would have gotten over. My fucking mom kicked rocks, and look at me. I'm a murderer.
She's only gonna be more dead, Sidney. She's not coming back.
She's just gonna get uglier and uglier.
Sidney, dig her up now or don't do it at all. So yeah, the father fucking... First of all, he politely knocks on the door after hearing screaming.
Don't do that. Just come in as much as you can.
And then he takes, I don't know, a step or two down the hallway, and we're right back to using our outdoor voices in the house.
She's got acoustic foam on the two doors that she uses to bar herself into her own room.
Fucking, all right. You
know
what?
That's not great.
This father just won the worst father of the year mug in my eyes. The more I think about it, the worse he gets.
So, yeah, underwear rule gets established, and then Sidney essentially gets goaded into second base.
Yeah, a little over on top of the clothes stuff is what she agrees to.
I mean, I guess
she puts her name down.
A soft rape.
She puts her name down for on top of the clothes stuff. Is
she
a better way.
In the hat.
Yeah.
So Billy promptly takes that and runs and tries to finger her right away, immediately. Just so you guys know, coercion is a chargeable offense.
Yeah, that hand goes right under the dress.
Billy is a sexual assailant.
Oh my God. And he's like, I'm not trying to rush you or anything. I was only half serious, which means you are still at least half serious.
Yep. And half serious is the backpedal when you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
There's when people would say, I'm joking, but I'm not really joking. That's the same vibe.
Depending on how full you see the glass, you're still pretty serious about this.
They make out for about 5 seconds, and then Sidney goes, okay, that's enough. 5 seconds is an amount of time that if somebody goes, okay, that's enough, they weren't in for the 5 seconds anyway.
Well, that and also 5 seconds is all it takes for him to just try and jam his hand up her dress.
That's true. And then he goes, see what you do to me? Oh, it's your fault. And also, look at how rock hard I am. I'm now rock hard.
Sidney's like, all right, fine. Would you agree to a PG-13 relationship, which is where she flashes him and we don't get to see anything?
Yeah, even though the movie is R-rated. Well, why don't I get to see tits?
Because it's a PG-13 thing.
Get them out.
I think the definition of PG-13 is like, yeah, sure, there's nudity, but it's implied.
You know why we don't get to see Neve Campbell's tits, like fully exposed? It's because when you flash your tits, you die, as per the rules later on illustrated in the movie.
Okay.
We get to see the bra later, but we still don't get to see the whole package.
That's fair.
Just the receipt.
We know the purchase was made. We have the receipt. So
This is when I'm like, this is Terminator 2 music. We do like the fucking sweeping shot over the school while Sidney's going to school.
You mean where all of the police and news reporters are there talking far too loudly about
a murder?
So there's a fucking murder here. I'm here at the school where the murder didn't take place, but everybody around might want to hear about it. Yeah, somebody who went to this high school is dead. They're dead.
Could have kept that under wraps and just continued with math.
Yeah. Just in case the police were trying to keep this investigation a secret, a dead started.
And her boyfriend.
And also, fucking one of them is like, yeah, we don't know, but there might have been some connection to the occult here. Also, Courteney Cox is here.
Oh, thank God!
We got Courteney Cox up in this house. Who?
Oh man,
she had to really rally to get this role because everybody thought that she was too nice.
Yeah,
because
from Friends.
She's still a pretty bitchy person on Friends.
she's like the bitchiest one.
Yeah, she's the bitch friend.
And then Phoebe's just a dunce. And then Jennifer Aniston now has disavowed Friends because apparently she feels it would be offensive to younger generations at this point.
Well, I don't know what's so offensive about overalls every fucking day, Jennifer, but you can only put those straps over your shoulders crisscross so many times.
It's cultural appropriation because she's not a farmer.
That's right.
You know, that's the offensive part.
This
is, Rose McGowan can't act.
Well, she shows up and is like, yeah, so fucking Drew Barrymore got ripped from end to end. Wow, I used to sit next to her. Not anymore, you don't.
Drew Barrymore's insides fucking looked like a sausage link last night.
Yeah, heard they were still steaming.
Oh, and I don't know, but this might have something to do with your dead mother. A day before the anniversary of your dead mother, I'll just bring it up to you right before class.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And then leave.
It's really weird this happened a day before and not on the day of.
And this is when I wrote down that Rose McGowan can't act and does the cartoonish shit because, like, literally, she doesn't say dead mother. She says it might have something to do with, well, you know. Which is, I imagine, how a 12-year-old would read it during a drama production.
Yeah. Oh, boy. They really work hard at keeping the fact that her mother is dead and murdered a secret
for 20 minutes.
And that's one of the little tools.
Yeah.
Because you go, oh, well, what's the secret? I don't know.
What's that fucking secret that everybody seems to know?
Yeah, weird. I don't know about this, but there's something to know and I don't know it and I'd like to know it. So I'm going to keep paying attention.
Yeah. Fucking in class, let's bring Sidney into the office. I really don't like how touchy-feely this principal is.
Yeah, and by the way, it's Henry Winkler.
Who is also known as the Fonz, because I didn't know his name until recently.
And if you've watched The Waterboy, he's the coach. If you've watched fucking
he's the shitty fertility doctor in Parks and Recreation.
Money, please, money. Yeah. He's what's her faces and what's his faces.
Would you be willing to adopt my two children?
Yeah.
They're both adults. They're terrible.
He's in a lot of things. He's in Arrested Development. He's like the lawyer or something.
Sure.
It's Henry Winkler.
I got him confused with John Lithgow for like 10 years of my life.
I don't see how you could do that, but
yeah, me neither. Fine. In hindsight.
So yeah, he really touches Sidney's face.
Yeah, goes right for the index finger and thumb under the chin, like a coach who's in trouble now.
And he also takes a minute to warn the police. Hey, yeah,
just so you know,
she's the daughter of the. She's here.
This is the bitch from The Thing.
He might as well have said that.
Again, in Scary Movie, like she walks in on them just like making fuck movements about her mom.
Oh yeah,
this fucking breezes right past because they're just like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. And how's your dad? He's good too. Whereas in Scary Movie, this is when the fucking sheriff shows Cindy the pictures of him in just a Speedo.
Yeah.
We'll just take a look at this photo again for me, just real quick.
She's
just like, no.
Is it John Lithgow in Scary Movie?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
The principal in Scary Movie is like Pee Wee Herman. Basically.
Okay.
It's not, but it is.
Okay. I'm gonna look it up later and go,
yeah.
I see what you mean. as will everybody who's listening to this podcast. Don't you dare you put your phones down.
You put those phones right down.
We are speaking into microphones.
The only thing that you're allowed to look at is your kilometer count on the treadmill if you're at the gym.
The road, if you're in a car, is also acceptable.
Yeah, you should probably be looking at the road more than you're listening to the podcast.
Eye contact with smelly strangers on the bus will be acceptable.
Mm-hmm. As long as you avert your gaze immediately.
Or you
hold it for the amount of time that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, you either win or you give up immediately.
Yeah.
It's
like arm wrestling.
And I will also accept the ground if you're walking, because sometimes there's needles and you don't want to step on those.
Sometimes there's needles. Sometimes, like Matt's driveway, one of the cobblestones is about 3 millimeters higher than the other, and you trip every time.
Hey, we keep it real.
Yeah,
real cobbly.
Real difficult to walk.
If you want cobblestone, it's real fucking cobble.
Yeah,
I want
cobbled together, all right.
I want your ankle bones to be out of order when you walk up my driveway. I want you to need to go to a specialist after visiting. So anyway, it's fucking. You get David Arquette. This is the first little bit of disrespect. The long line of disrespect.
It's fucking extensive.
And by the way, having seen Scary Movie. Oh, hey, Dewey. Actually, it's Officer Dewey.
Yeah.
In Scary Movie, what is it, like a hand-drawn sticker or something on his shirt he's tapping?
Is. Yeah. It feels ableist to do the voice.
It does. We don't have to.
I kind of want to do that.
Look, Jam.
Mom says when I'm wearing this badge, you have to treat me like a man of the law.
I'm going to give you just one of those.
I'm doing the impression of a man who plays a retarded person in a movie.
Well,
so far, I'm not making fun of retarded people. I'm making fun of a character who's retarded.
You're making fun of somebody who's got an impediment of some kind.
Of several kinds.
By the way, having only seen Scary Movie, at the end when he leaves, I
Usual
thought
Suspects, bro.
I thought that this movie was gonna end like that. But
have you seen The Usual Suspects?
No, but I know
that's what it's from.
I know of the limp that turns into a regular walk,
and that's Kevin Spacey in that movie.
I thought that. I thought that Officer Dewey was the whodunit.
Yeah,
but it's good that they didn't spoil the movie.
There is a moment, at least one moment in the movie where they make it seem like he could be. Well, the whole point is because Randy says everyone's a suspect, so everybody gets sort of their time to be a suspect as per the movie, and there is one with him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It mostly has to do with him offering to take Courteney Cox on a walk alone late at night.
Yeah, to see a car that's been reported.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
I'm just gonna get into Officer Dewey now and the problems with him.
Okay, please.
Okay.
Please.
Officer Dewey is a sheriff's deputy.
Not a cop.
No.
He's not a legitimate officer of the law.
However, he is old enough to be a sheriff's deputy. The minimum age is 18. We later on learn that he's 25 years old because he says it himself. Why is he so concerned with his mother's approval? At least twice in the movie, him and Rose McGowan's character Tatum are siblings.
Yes.
And he asks her whether or not mom is okay with things, like Sidney coming over for a sleepover. Why does he give a shit? Also, mom says when I'm wearing the badge, you have to treat me like a man of the law, which he does say in this movie. Why do you care what mom says? Why do you care what mom says if it's nothing other than I need help moving into the home because you're my adult child and I must be old then?
I'll tell you why. Because I don't think there's any other point in this movie where they establish that these two are brother and sister.
Aside from the fact that they live in the same house with a mother?
Yeah, so you would have to be like, well, why is the cop here?
Sure. It's like a brother talking on the phone in a movie to his brother and calls him bro.
Yeah, it's very much...
Literally nobody ever does that in real life, but
yeah,
we're establishing the connection.
It's to service also the fact that he's a silly boy. A silly man.
Let me also tell you right now, Officer Dewey, in the mental capacity that he is in this movie, would never be considered for a sheriff's deputy position.
Let me tell you.
They don't hire people to be police officers if they're colorblind.
You know who else?
Let alone brain blind.
You know who else is a sheriff's deputy?
Who?
Dwight from The Office.
He's a volunteer sheriff's deputy.
That not
Dewey
what
could also be a volunteer sheriff's deputy. I don't know if you have to volunteer for the position.
I thought that's what a deputy was.
Training.
It was like, you're not a cop. You're just you're basically this guy's assistant.
Well, I didn't.
I don't know.
Dwight's also got a couple problems upstairs. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. All I do know is at one point Dewey brings these ladies and he shows up to he's got to do some police work while they do grocery shopping.
Yeah.
All I know is that Dewey does not go to the police station, and then you later see him with ice cream. So I don't know about this man's capacity. I don't.
If he's got any whatsoever, it's for ice cream.
Like, Scary Movie didn't have to swing too hard to exaggerate this shit.
Oh my god, dude.
They were handed a script and they gave him a speech impediment is all they did.
This is the Nim, right? Yeah.
Fucking David Arquette.
You don't even need to add, like, David Arquette walks into the room with the fucking script and he goes, "Why?
Fine, we'll be silly, but I want this group of friends sitting around a fountain in at least one scene."
Yeah. Let's go right to the fountain scene where we get an example of systemic sexism.
Yeah, the topic at hand around the fountain, where this group of friends hangs out.
Are they friends? Because everybody treats Randy like shit. Everybody treats Randy like he's the hanger-on that you don't want around, but you keep him around because sometimes he says something funny. Well, like the entirety of my high school experience.
He works at the movie store. He brings the movies to the party. You know how
he's good for the movies.
You know how when you're having a party, you want to watch a movie? You want a movie on so that everybody watches this movie at a party?
Oh, no, sorry, I don't do this. See, I had the kind of parties where you'd put a movie on and instead of watching, everyone would talk over it. So Randy would have fit right in.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that's not good. That's not a good party.
I didn't hear any complaints from you at the time.
You did. I either want to watch the movie or I
may have.
Either everybody shuts the fuck up or we turn the movie off.
I had basically at that point just relinquished the idea that the movie was going to get watched if there were more than 3 people in the room.
Well,
it became background noise. That's why I put on so many that everyone had seen already.
I was invited to watch movies.
Yeah.
I came to watch movies.
Sometimes you can, again, my ability to focus on things is not the greatest. So I have a lot of practice tuning shit out.
Well, pardon my autistic brain for coming to a movie night and expecting a movie.
Well, you got it.
Yeah, after everybody shut the fuck up about...
It was still playing.
But I had to listen to people bitch about things that happened in high school.
That you didn't go to with us at all.
And all of us much older than high school.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Nothing like reminiscing about shit you hated far past having hated it.
Yes. Nothing like leaving that at the fucking school you went to.
So this conversation is all about how a guy did these 2 guttings because a girl is not strong enough.
Oh, yeah. It would take a man to, quote, hollow out somebody.
Which, yeah.
Is exactly what happened? Yeah.
That's what happened. And also, like... there's a sex joke in there. Okay,
there is.
About hollowing out.
There is.
I'm not going to put it together, but the pieces are there, all right?
The pieces are there.
Assemble the puzzle at home in your head.
So where, we're making stars next to things that are suspicious.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, well, how do you even do that?
Oh, don't worry. Stu's got the answer.
Oh, yeah.
Stu's got the answer on fucking deck.
Yeah, he's got the long and short form of the answer.
With interpretive dance involved.
Yeah, little star next to that right there.
Yeah, whoopsie.
By the way, Randy is Jamie Kennedy.
Yes, he is, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that until this time watching it. I was like, why do I know his fucking face? And then it's Jamie Kennedy, just like that.
Yeah, in my notes, I've got Matthew Lillard and Jamie Kennedy for most of it.
Okay, no, that's fine. I alternated between Stu and Matt Lillard for most of this, so that's that. Yep.
Good.
And also Rose McGowan, because fuck, she doesn't deserve the name Tatum.
Yeah.
With her acting.
Channing Tatum is probably what people are going to get confused with anyway. So he's not in this film, although he could be, and it would be a hot film.
Jamie Kennedy in this scene when he's interrogating Stu and Tatum about their whereabouts the night before, and they just go, "We were fucking last night."
Yeah.
She's just like, I was at Stu's last night or whatever, but it's like, yeah, I was. Oh my God.
Was she though? We'll find out.
So during that, he's doing an impression of Jerry Lewis. When he stands up and is like, did they find her kidney in the mailbox? Because I heard they found her kidney in the mailbox next to her spleen and liver. That's a Jerry Lewis impression. I will task you. If anybody listening to this podcast right now in the year 2023 knows the name Jerry Lewis, I want letters.
You will get
letters because I'm like the only one.
You'll get letters because they won't be emails because these people won't have email because they don't trust the internet, Jay. With their privacy,
so like they put an impression of a person in a movie that even in 1996 the majority of the people watching it wouldn't get the reference, and even less so now.
Well, it went right over my head.
Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis were a comedy duo from back when commercials for Colgate were voiced over by an announcer and everything was in black and white and people would just drink while filming.
Yes. And
you could smoke on airplanes and hit women.
And they could just lie about their products.
Also that, yeah.
So during this whole conversation, they're talking and somebody's girlfriend gets upset and I think Matthew Lillard's like, hey, she's getting mad. You better leave her alone.
Yeah, leave her alone.
And this while they were talking about the whole liver in the mailbox.
I'm pretty sure it was Sidney.
Well, you better leave her alone.
Yeah, and like, just in case you didn't get the joke, let's have Matt Lillard explain it 4 times to the rest of the characters in the scene.
Hey, it gets
liver, get it? Liver, like a joke.
It gets funnier every time I hear it.
It does. Matt, he's got a way, man. He's got a way with making things funny. I on that IMDb trivia page, there's a quote from him about this movie, and he's like, the Drew Barrymore sequence, that's a phenomenal sequence. It sets up the whole movie, and then the movie kind of sucks ass until the end.
Oh.
And that's just, that he just said, the movie, it's so good at the beginning, then it sucks, it's slow and boring, and then we save it at the end. And then he also talks about how difficult it is to scare somebody and make them laugh as an audience member at the same time. I agree, and I also think that's like a pretty deep thought about acting and like acting skill.
Fair.
You know, like
I thought he did a fairly good job of it.
Yeah, dude, both.
I mean,
he would creep me the fuck out if he was spitting in my face mid conversation.
Out of everybody in this movie, he's like, of note, he's the top bill for acting in my, like, I feel like he did the most acting out of anybody.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Jamie Kennedy is just being Jamie Kennedy.
Basically, I've seen the Jamie Kennedy Experiment. I've seen Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah,
we get Jamie Kennedy,
and he's the same character. And who the fuck else is there? Henry Winkler is in 3 scenes.
Henry Winkler,
he does a job.
I
don't know who the fuck Billy is. I've not seen that guy in anything else ever.
The name rings a bell, but I don't know what he'd be in. I don't know.
And then Neve Campbell, who, I mean, she does a decent job, but it's not a great one. And then Rose McGowan sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. At this point in her career, Neve Campbell's way of acting emotional is to squint her eyes and open her mouth a little. Like Keira Knightley.
That's some deep emotions right there.
Yeah, man. That's how
Happy,
you know.
Scared.
Yeah. They're all the same.
Afraid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, scared, afraid. I mean,
pooping.
Yeah. She probably squints her eyes for that, too.
Oh, probably. That's just grunting a crud. Ugh! So, the bus is dropping Sidney off. Sidney's alone in her house.
Yeah, this is when she puts her fucking shoey feet up on her dead mom's couch. Because you know this guy going on business trips every weekend isn't furnishing the place.
Oh, no.
And she's dumb.
So, she's hella dumb.
You know?
So, yeah, she puts her fucking dirty feet up on the sofa.
Yeah, dude.
She's waiting for her friend to either come get her or stay the night. I think it's come get her.
I think it's a toss-up, and then she offers to stay the night there.
I don't know.
Regardless.
She packs a bag.
And then, like, 3 hours pass so that she can go get chips in a movie. Like, fucking... Did you bike?
She passes out. And,
it's fucking 7:15 when she wakes up, and fucking Tatum is still not there.
And she wakes up to a phone call.
Yeah.
And, I'll tell you what, it's not Tatum calling.
No.
It's very obvious it's not. But, I mean, I guess Sidney was sleepy. She forgot what her friend sounds like.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely the killer using a voice modulator to sound like a girl. And that's about all the effort he puts into changing his voice.
Yeah. Later on, it's weird. Like, you can hear the dual voices through the modulator. Well, I think as a way of proving who's speaking at the time.
Yeah.
You didn't need to do that. I can put twos together.
Yeah. Oh, I got it for sure.
You know?
I understand the concept of a voice modulator.
Yeah, and how the voice comes out differently as per its only job on this earth.
Yes. It does the one thing that they programmed it to do, but no, that's cool. Feed it to me.
So this
I'm a hungry baby.
So fucking Sidney's talking on the phone with this killer, and this is when we're gonna decide to be dubious. There's already 2 dead bodies. My mom is also dead. I'm gonna second guess whether or not this is a prank for a very long time. So now when Sidney comes home, she goes into the front closet either to put a coat up or to take one down. Either way, there's a tension sting.
Is there?
And then later on, that's where the killer comes out of. And it's really only if you pay attention are you going to notice that. But they totally telegraph where the killer is in the house before she even falls asleep and then picks up the phone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. What I was busy catching was she flips on the TV and every channel is covering this murder. And then finally the one she lands on is like, yeah, there was this murder. How about that rape and murder last year, though? Like,
holy fuck, how about that rape and murder?
Like, why did it immediately jump to comparing those two things? It's like,
it's the anniversary, man.
This is the worst crime we've seen since that last crime, which was the rape and murder of this lady.
It's a very sleepy town.
And then you look and you go, oh, that's her mom. Yeah. There's the secret.
Mm-hmm. And then we still got a picture of my dead mom by the phone.
Mm-hmm. In case she calls.
The only way she's going to call is through a fucking CB radio. Shortwave.
Those are the ones that connect with heaven.
Yes. Or hell.
So, yeah, this is the part where they're like, yeah, I'm going to rent that movie where you can see Tom Cruise's penis. And we're going to pause it and just...
And do what? Buff the muff? Beside each other on the love seat?
I was going to say flick the bean, but buff the muff is way better.
Jill off?
Oh, boy. Frank and Jill.
Why? Are there bolts involved?
I don't know.
Are there bolts and lightning involved?
Yes.
Oh.
So I think there's like she figures out that like, oh boy, this isn't you. Who is this?
No, she fucking thinks it's Randy pranking her for a minute. So she goes along with the line of questioning, like, what's your favorite scary movie? I don't really watch horror movies. I think they're dumb, which is just the movie making fun of itself. Everything out of Sidney's mouth during this phone conversation just about is the movie making fun of itself. Some big-breasted girl who can't act. Going upstairs when she should be going out the front door, which is exactly what Sidney fucking does in this scene.
Yeah. This is not the first time.
No.
And nor will it be the last time.
Fucking exact same thing. You might as well go out and investigate a noise. Sidney does that too. They play the Where Am I game and he's like, I'm on the front porch. So she goes out onto the front porch.
Calls the bluff.
There have been 2 murders. One of whom was a classmate. The killer is still out there. Why are you even unlocking the front door? Yeah. You obviously can't. Now, this woman knows how to carry herself because I guess watching your mom get raped and murdered gives you martial arts skills. But she does a pretty good job fighting off a grown man for a good portion of this movie.
Yeah. So
my point being, you shouldn't overestimate that.
Yeah.
If he's on the front porch, you go out to the front porch. He's in a position where when you're coming out, he's going to put a knife in you. That's why he said it.
Yeah, he could.
Why would you take the risk?
There's 180 degrees of killer. Why would you? Yeah, you can only see a small portion when you walk through that door.
Yeah.
He could be anywhere.
I'm on the front porch. All right, good. Click.
Yep.
See ya.
I'm slipping out the back.
Yeah.
So she goes back inside, locks the door. Surprise, surprise.
Yep. Right in the closet where he was the whole time.
And they tussle.
Which means once again she left her fucking doors unlocked. Yep.
Yeah. No. It's just a murder on the loose. No big deal.
It's fine.
No big deal. What's that fucking movie with Michael Moore where it's Bowling for Columbine, and he goes around checking to see if doors are locked.
Yeah, in Toronto.
He should have checked this town.
He should have. Now, with that being said, he must have been there for 4 fucking days to get that footage. Because, I don't know if you know about Toronto, not the kind of place to have your doors unlocked. And all of them, almost all the ones that he tries, open right up. And he almost just walks in.
Well, yeah, he's Michael Moore.
If it was unlocked before, it sure won't be after you leave.
Oh, yeah.
For months and months.
Thanks. I've learned my lesson, Michael Moore.
Yeah, you fat fuck. He used to be really funny back before he got like a super huge head about the messages that like he turned into Al Gore a little bit with the Inconvenient Truth and shit.
Yeah.
But before that, I watched, I think it's called Roger and Me, which he made in the 90s about the GM plant closing in Flint, Michigan and ruining the town.
I think I have it on DVD.
Actually really good. But there's this part in it where they go to McDonald's and he gets a fillet of fish and he's just staring at it, pissed. And then he looks at the camera and he goes, "They put vegetables on my fillet of fish. Fuckers."
Thanks. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks for the endorsement.
Just in case you were wondering, fuck Flint, Michigan, but also
fuck vegetables. Look at me. I don't need to say it.
I'm a man of taste, and that taste is not collard greens.
It's mostly greases and fats. My pet theory about the reason why the majority of the chase scenes in this movie turn into fucking Benny Hill is because he can't see out of that mask.
Makes sense to me.
You got those 2 tiny holes and that's all you can see out of. It makes sense that he fumbles around. It makes sense that when somebody opens a freezer door in front of him, he just walks right into it.
Yeah, when you mention that, okay, I'll accept a little bit more.
And then the silliness, I would attribute, I think, it's not canon, but my theory is that that's Stu in the costume. When he's like tripping over carpets and falling downstairs and shit, that's just Stu.
Yeah.
Billy's the competent one, and then when Stu gets into it, it just all goes to hell.
I will say that it's supposed to be a costume.
Mm-hmm.
The costume is Father Death. That's the costume.
They've rebranded it obviously because of how famous this movie is.
Yeah, but he brings in like this fucking, it looks like a Spirit Halloween costume called Father Death.
Dollar store shit.
Yeah, and so it's one costume.
Yeah.
And if you look at one point, the costume is stretched to capacity. Because somebody who was wearing it was bigger than the person wearing it previous.
Yep. And also, like, there are points in the movie where you can see that there's, like, the threads are falling out. Like, the costume falls apart slowly throughout the movie. I will say...
It's a dollar store costume.
Yeah, I will say, I very much like that they chose to have a killer in a dollar store costume. Because it makes it, like... almost more accessible. Like, anybody could be this.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So it's like there's an added level of like intimacy there where it's like if it were me in the movie, that could easily be my mom, you know? That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that better than if you just like made a dumb monster with CG.
Yeah, I like in Halloween, the mask he wears.
It's William Shatner.
It is, but nobody knows that anymore.
Yeah.
But
because it was a horribly made William Shatner mask. It doesn't look like him at all.
I mean, maybe when he was younger and it was the first mask, but it's been reproduced so many times it's lost its
That just looks
shape.
like a fucking... It looks like a man who's having air pumped into his nostrils.
It looks like a corpse. Is what it looks like.
Yes.
But yeah, so the fact that, I mean, way back when, you probably could have went to the store and just picked that mask up and like, oh great, here's the Halloween mask.
Yeah.
It says William Shatner. Who the fuck's that?
Nobody getting that mask gonna know William Shatner is. Sweetie, that's Captain Kirk. Who?
Give me the knife-wielding maniac.
Yeah, so fucking Ghostface, that's what pops out of the closet and chases Sidney upstairs even though she knows she shouldn't be doing that. And then call back to the door thing.
Yep.
And then he just fucking swings around aimlessly like he's trying to swat a mosquito.
Yeah, like he's gonna, like at one of those swings, his arm is gonna magically stretch and just get him.
Like Michael Jordan in Space Jam when he goes for that final dunk.
Yep.
In Scary Movie, they also make fun of that by making the swings even sillier. Like, it's a guy fucking just having a seizure with his arm through the door.
They basically did that in this. Like, he keeps trying to jam his body through this crevice that's just not gonna...
At all.
Yeah.
Sidney goes over to the fucking Def Protect Def Typer is what the program she's typing in is called.
Anything I was about to say, not gonna say it now. I get it.
No, I want to know.
How and why? How is she calling the fucking 911 from her computer? And why?
She's got the Def Protect Def typer up.
Well,
because
thank
she tried the phone and the phone was dead. All right? Let's fucking boot that shit up. I have this on lock just in case. As a matter of fact, it's already open and loaded. It's in another tab. Mm-hmm. Just in case I need to dial 911 from my computer. No police officer in this movie, especially not Dewey, but any of them, have any competence whatsoever. These might be the worst cops in any movie that we've seen.
I'm listening.
It would be better in their position if they had just killed the teens themselves and got it out of the way. Because they do all of nothing to help anyone.
It's true.
Holy shit.
All they do is order... They order phone records for the wrong people.
They order phone records that take like a fucking 3 days. I have things to say.
All right.
All of this shit, the cops show up when she calls 911 way too late. Anyway, she fucking what is she? Yeah, the killer disappears because somehow I don't know how Billy could see that she was typing 911 into the computer, but he took that as the cue to fuck off and then pop up in the window. Magically, coincidentally, he was just coming into her windowsill at the same time that Ghostface leaves. You don't... And that's not enough for Sidney to be like, oh, you're the killer because you're here inexplicably. No, it's when a regular cell phone falls out of his pocket.
Yes.
That's the fucking clincher for her.
In 1996.
Oh, you have this thing that people have when they do business?
Not in 1996.
That's why I hated that point, because it's correct, but at the same time, I would not think somebody was a murderer just because they had a phone on them.
Not anymore, you wouldn't.
Give a fuck what day, what year it is. Cellular phones exist? Oh, people can get them? Cool. Maybe it's an emergency line directly to his father.
By the way, everybody in this film calls it a cellular telephone.
Yeah, dude.
Like they just invented it for this movie in particular.
Mm-hmm. That's what they used to call them shits back in the day.
They used the full word. They want you to know it's not a house phone.
No.
It's not a pager.
It's not.
It's the cellular telephone.
Mm-hmm. As if, the word phone had not been used up to this point ever.
But yeah, so Billy comes to the window and he's like comforting her, drops this fucking suspicious phone. Like, oh boy,
there's something suspicious.
There's only 4 phones in America and you've got one?
Yeah. Is that the phone you use for your side chicks, Billy?
That was nobody's concern in 1996. I wrote down earlier in the movie when Drew was getting these calls, like the cell phone that he must be using outside there must be huge. And then that phone hits the floor. I'm like, yeah.
Damn it.
That's exactly fucking confirmed right there.
It's like one of the traditional Nokias that you see from the meme.
It's literally like the Nokia 1.
Yeah. Like you could murder somebody with it and it wouldn't break.
The Nokia 0.4.
So this is when she runs downstairs and we get fucking Dewey at the door with the ghost mask. Bare-handed. Now, again, I understand that it's 1996, but I know for a fact that in 1996, both fingerprinting and DNA technology existed. You are muddying up a crime scene by touching that with your bare hands. And then he hands it to the sheriff, who also touches it with his bare hands. Whoops.
Big whoops.
Incompetent police in this movie.
Also,
they don't treat any evidence with any respect whatsoever.
He's also just holding his gun up.
Yeah, he does that a couple times.
Just has his gun out. I don't know where he got this gun from. I don't know who gave him a gun, but he's just...
Pretty sure deputies aren't given guns, and they're definitely, if they are, not allowed to take them home with them. But somehow he has the gun at home with him.
Small town,
and he rips
California.
it out. He rips it out just to answer the phone.
So yeah,
fucking hair trigger. All right.
So now we're I guess Courteney Cox is showing up late to the party.
Billy gets arrested on no evidence whatsoever other than he did it. Other than he did it, guys. He must have done it.
He's got a cell phone.
Yeah,
Let's get him.
That's enough.
Let's get him.
He was nowhere near the mask I found on the ground.
This is a very Amish line of logic here.
Also, once again, terrible police.
Spooky phone magic. Let's get him.
A fucking lawsuit.
And
then, Gail shows up with her cameraman and the most fucking hostile employer-employee relationship ever.
Oh my God. What is she like jumps out and she starts running up and like hassling people like, hey,
snapping fingers about fucking bring the camera and shit.
Tell me what happened. What can you tell me? And this poor cameraman is just trying to set up his equipment, which is, by the way, in 1996, probably a heavy ass camera.
You're talking 10 to 15 pounds on your shoulder.
And so he's just trying to get that ready.
Yeah.
And
XLR cables out the ass like spaghetti.
Yeah, so if he finally catches up to her and she's like, well, look, I realize you're overweight. But
yep.
I need you to move your fat tub of lard ass now. And that is what she says.
Say that in 2023 and see how quickly you end up on Twitter canceled.
Oh my God.
Your entire business tanks.
See how quickly you fucking wind up with a camera up your asshole.
Also that, for sure. This guy just like lays there and takes it for the whole movie, despite like, bitch, I could tie you in a knot.
Well, he's self-aware is what he is. He's driving this truck around.
Yeah, I am fat.
Throwing, when they follow Sidney later in the movie, the truck drives by and a bag of chips falls out the window.
It's not even finished.
It's not.
It's not his first bag of chips of the night.
It's not.
Also, I hate that they did that. I hate that they're tailing the fucking police car and then they stop in frame so that he can drop the chips and then hit the gas. As if he would need to stop to litter.
He really just wants to make sure the job is done.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that shit where it blows back in the fucking the window in the back.
Yeah, it bursts wide open in the meantime.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, if I'm going to litter,
shit.
I'm going to make sure this litters.
This is going to be a long snack. Chips everywhere.
I need to pull over so I can really use all of my might to force this to the earth. They fucking show up. And she's rude to this guy, and then they just go around bothering people. I think she tries to, like, force her way into, like, the crime scene.
Have you seen Hannibal, the TV show?
No.
So there is a tabloid journalist in Hannibal that has pretty much the same attitude as Gail Weathers. Gail Weathers.
Just call her Courteney Cox.
Call her Bad Storm.
I will.
You know? Same attitude though, like super invasive in order to get the story, undermining your whole practice by being bristlingly hostile toward the people that you need to get information from.
Yeah, I really.
And you wonder why you work for BuzzFeed.
Oh, that was fucking low. So, we're at the police station now, and just to really add to your point about how great these cops are.
So good.
Let's go ahead and we're going to leave the victim.
The traumatized victim of an attack.
We're going to leave this victim within eyeline of the perpetrator.
So that he can creepily leer at her through the glass while the police officer is there and also his father.
Oh, he gives her the death stare.
Over and over. He interrupts the conversation so that he can go back to looking at her. Like Mark Zuckerberg, like fucking Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network, when he just goes, "It's raining."
I thought you were going to go with Mark Zuckerberg and just...
Mark Zuckerberg at literally any time in his waking life.
And whenever he sees Sweet Baby Ray's, he's like, ooh.
I mean, I don't know what that is.
That's a barbecue sauce that he likes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, that's good that he likes a barbecue sauce. I didn't think he could process flavor.
That's rude.
Where are you going at this juncture? Oh, you got drinks on drinks.
I needed a bubbly.
So the interrogation method of these police is to ask questions until somebody confesses to a crime.
I love it.
What were you doing at your girlfriend's house late at night? She's my fucking girlfriend. I want to bang the shit out of her. What do you want? What do you expect? Why do you have a phone? Because I have a fucking phone. What do you? You might as well just ask me why I like broccoli.
Why do you like broccoli?
It's tasty and it's good for me.
I like it because it's fucking green.
Anyway, like, fucking, and we're not going to talk about, like, how about this mask that we found just in the vicinity of a house you were at?
How about it?
Where's the knife?
How and why?
Where's the murder weapon, number one?
Yeah.
Number two, we can't enter the mask into evidence because it's got the entire precinct's fingerprints on it.
We've all took turns wearing it and pretending to be spooky in the mirror.
And now we're going to pull your phone records.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
We will pull your phone records, but we're not going to pull Drew Barrymore's phone records, even though we know for a fact she was on the phone when she was murdered because well, where was the house phone? In her hand.
I'll tell you right now.
Her mom picks up the phone to hear her get murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, also.
Maybe tap that line.
By the way, as Drew Barrymore is getting murdered, her dad's like, hey, why don't you go over to, I forget who. He uses
it was like Kenzie's house, something like that.
Which is what happens in Halloween.
Yeah. I think that, well, it's not the first, because you get the Freddy and the Halloween shit. So, yeah, but one of the first references, like obscure ones that you'd have to have seen the movie to get.
Yeah, I haven't, and I didn't.
I have, and I still didn't because it's a throwaway line. Who cares what house you're going to when there's a killer in the one you're in?
But we're not gonna check those phone records.
No, fuck those ones. Fuck those piece of shit records.
You know what they say. We don't check phone records until we see a mysterious phone.
So
no phone calls. We're police. We make it up as we go.
So while Billy's getting fucking the same kind of bad rap that a black guy reaching into his pocket at a convenience store would get.
Ooh.
No evidence of theft, but I might as well assume you're a thief because of your haircut. Tatum shows up at the fucking precinct and comes up behind an attack victim and puts her hands on her shoulders before announcing her presence. And, I mean, Sidney does nothing at all about that. She doesn't react at all. I'd be screaming. Are you kidding me? I just had somebody try to plunge a knife into my chest and face.
Well, she is
Come at me from the front for a week.
She's a fucking disrespectful friend.
Oh, she's a piece of shit friend. Holy shit. I can't go 5 fucking seconds without saying something rude to my best friend.
She also, comes right in and is like, Dewey, you fucking idiot. And he's like, hey, come on now. Mom said you gotta call me Detective Dewey or whatever it is.
So she goes, all right, doofus, which is worse.
Yeah. And also he's doing this right in front of his superiors, which is even better.
It's really good for his reputation around the police station.
So Courteney Cox knows something.
Yeah. She's like fucking Sandra Bullock in Premonition, dude. She's like a medium, the way that she gleans information from nothing but pensive stares.
Yeah, she really, she's got her finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
She knows about every door in the police station, how there's one in the front and the back, in case of fires and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Dewey, living up to his name, fucking Dewey, he's like, here, well, why don't we'll go out the side door so that this media circus out front doesn't get you.
Yeah.
But let me just bring you two outside and leave you there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the car.
Okay. Come with me to get the car. The two of you.
Or stay in the building while I get the car.
Or that. Either one of those two options. Nah, I'll leave you in a dark alleyway so you can be accosted.
Yeah.
By, like, the least dangerous of which is a reporter.
Fucking, here comes Courteney Cox.
Yeah.
And, she's writing a book.
Great. Who fucking cares about your dumb bitch book?
Well, I mean...
Are you writing Million Little Pieces? Because it's all lies in there.
Ooh. It is. Damn.
I'm scathing.
You are. I mean, I'm sure that book was, I don't know, it was on Oprah. I don't know fucking thing about it. Why?
The guy fabricated the entire story. Oprah gave it Book of the Month because it was so good, and then people started fact checking, and it turns out the guy's just a compulsive liar.
Well, didn't he isn't it about like a drug addiction and
it's dick? About him basically going to like the seediest of underbellies during his addicted period, and then coming out the other side better for the just lies, just all lies.
But
remember the fucking Always Sunny episode where Dennis gets hit with a fire extinguisher? Yeah.
But he does suck a dick in that book, right?
He says he does.
Yes. Okay. All right. Because that's the part of the book I read. He really wanted those drugs.
I believe you when you say it. I haven't read it. I have like 70% of the books on my shelf I haven't fucking read.
Well, flip through it to the dick sucking bit.
There, I know.
Anyway, so she comes around this fucking back entrance and she's like, hey, Sidney,
you're traumatized.
My book's coming out soon, Sidney.
It's about your dead fucking mom and how I think the person who you accused and is convicted of killing her, you lied because you were 12. Wasn't 12. It was like a year prior to this movie happening.
We don't. That's all that we don't know. She's just like, don't worry, I'll send you a copy.
Yeah.
And so what I wrote was, let me just. Courtney finally gets her finger on the pulse, and Sidney causes a pulse, well, more of a throbbing. Because she decks Courtney Cox right in her fucking face.
So good, dude. It's such a good hit. Also, in Scary Movie, that's, hey, Cindy, your ass looks fat.
Oh, my God. So I think Deputy Dewey brings her some ice for her hand or something.
Yeah, chucks it at her. Chucks it at the injured hand. Like, yeah, catch this with your bum hand.
Yeah, I know how you just punched a lady.
Here we get another example of Tatum being the worst friend on the face of the earth. Right after being like, do you really think your boyfriend is the killer? She says, I knew there had to be something wrong with him. He's just too perfect. Like a fucking Columbine girl. You think your fucking boyfriend murdered those people? I'd fuck him still.
Yeah, she said two things, and both of those things were upsetting to hear.
Yeah, 100%. And we just like gloss over that too. Like, it just doesn't even fucking, oh man.
Yep. So I like, first of all, where is anybody's parents in this fucking movie?
Mom's in this scene.
The whole movie.
Mom's in this scene.
Yeah.
Mom might as well not at all be in this scene. As a matter of fact, it would be better if she wasn't, because she's the vehicle by which the killer gets to talk to Sidney. Because she comes into the bedroom with the phone. Sidney, someone's on the phone for you. You didn't hear that voice and immediately assume it was a killer on the other end?
You didn't ask, how did you get this number?
Also,
how did you know Sidney was here?
All good questions. Fuck's sake. So, greatest mom, just the more naive than Sidney.
Mm-hmm. Looks like you fingered the wrong guy again. Not a great hello to hear.
Probably rephrase that also.
Hey, quit fingering boys down there, Sidney. You've been fingering all the wrong boys.
Why don't you finger the right one? I'm on the porch.
So this upsetting phone call, and then Dewey bursts in with his fucking gun.
Gun drawn and ready. Probably safety off, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, like he's going to put a bullet in the phone and it's going to go through the wires and come out the other side.
There's a movie where someone does that, and I think it's a nun, and she gets shot in the throat. I don't know what movie it is. I'll tell you once I find it.
All right.
Because I know that you want it.
To be continued on that question. Yeah, so, like, yeah, everybody's screaming and crying, and he just, like, picks up the phone. Hello?
Read the room.
Please. Please. You, like, I'm assuming the phone was left off the hook, and that's why he picked it up.
Yeah.
But I doubt it was.
Also, like, first of all, you can hear a dial tone before he even picks it up. You can hear a dial tone before Sidney puts it down. And then, yeah, like, oh, maybe this object is the reason why everyone's upset in this hallway.
Well, let me talk to it. Hello? So if you were wondering if any of this has you left questioning, like, what's going on here? Don't worry, it's the next day. Here comes a news report to fill in all the information.
Yeah, the most expositional news. And, like, let me tell you, the only reason why the news report is on is to explain to the audience all of the backstory that they've been alluding to up to this point, because nobody in their right fucking mind would have that channel on, or any news channel on, when the victim in question is sitting at the table in the kitchen watching it.
But we gotta know what's going on in our community.
Holy fuck, dude. Hey, man, your friend, like, you and your family, Tatum, don't really give a shit about my feelings, do you? She's just sitting there fucking being forced to watch this shit. Hey, until somebody comes over and turns it off way too late.
Do you mind if we change this? They're going to be showing the Powerball numbers after this. I can't miss it.
They do missing person report bumpers between this and the next one.
We just want to see if they're going to mention you or your mom. That's all. And that horrible, horrible thing.
Holy fuck.
So yeah, what is it? I don't know. So the news report basically is just like, hey, yo, about a year ago, somebody was murdered. Yeah. And somebody was fingered. And it essentially, I think it implies like, hey, if the wrong person was fingered, then that guy, the murderer, is still unfingered and on the loose.
Yeah. If it happened once, it can happen again. Which is what Sidney says later on in the movie anyway, thus defeating the purpose of the fucking news report. But the guy in question, his name is Cotton. Horrible name, number one. Maybe racist. He looks like a murderer, so I could understand.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Finger anybody named Cotton. But
finger, not finger.
So the story is like he had his coat covered in blood.
Yeah.
And she saw somebody with that coat covered in blood.
Mm-hmm. Well, coats are, I don't know if you know this, but in 1995, which is when this rape and murder took place, according to this movie being in 1996, nobody was physically capable of removing their coats at any time. So if you saw somebody with a bloody coat on, either it's theirs or they're a killer.
Coats were binding. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like the mask from The Mask. Every coat.
Every coat.
You take that shit off, it almost pulls your whole face off, so why bother?
Yeah, I get you. So of course, you want to finger the bloody coat man.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A lot of fingering on Sydney's part, which is ironic given she doesn't put out.
Oh, boy, is it ever. Isn't it ironic, don't you think? Boy.
It's like rain on your wedding day, man.
Oh, my God. It's a free ride when you've already paid.
Yeah, it's fingering an innocent man.
When you just couldn't. And who would have thought it figures? Life is a funny way.
You just couldn't. Fuck. That was the funniest delivery of a sentence I've heard in a month.
Yup. Boy. I'm glad
Holy shit.
Glad it fell out of me.
Woo.
So, blah blah blah. A bunch of stuff happens in this film.
Yeah. Back to school.
Back to school.
Wouldn't be going to school the day after being attacked in my own home.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying. Okay. Mental health day. All right.
Probably.
You know.
Yeah. Probably mental health week.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah,
mental health, hire a bodyguard.
Yeah, don't expect me to be doing much after, other than laying in bed, and you better be keeping the doors locked.
On the note of incompetent police work, the one person being the most targeted by this murderer gets saddled with the deputy that we're doing his dad a favor by having him around. Instead of a police officer. And then also, nobody stakes out anybody's house. If you break up with your girlfriend, right? And then she shows up at midnight and tries to break your door down and you call the police about it, they'll post a cop up for a day. And she don't even have to have a knife. That's it. So This town sucks. This town's police force sucks ass and dick.
Well, let me tell you, if the cops were any better, then this movie probably wouldn't be that great.
You're right. You're right. They let a lot of things slide.
You're really damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
We're back at school, right? Are we back at school? We're back at school.
Now we're back at school, and here again, Tatum and Sydney get dropped off by Dewey in the paddy wagon in front of news vans. Huh? You think there's a story there?
Well.
I'm really happy that they weren't covertly dropped off in just a car so that they could proceed with business as usual as high school students.
Oh, no. They want to be in front of the whole media circus.
He might as well have hit the fucking cherries and put it like over the megaphone. Victim of an attack here. Victim of an unsolved murder and attack.
Murder,
for anyone interested, please do not look over here.
It's like on Family Guy. Is it like Lenny Kravitz? And he's like,
respect our privacy.
Yeah.
They just recently did that in South Park too with I don't know if it's Charles or Harry and Meghan Markle.
It's one of the two, yeah.
And the fucking clip is I don't remember what the reasoning was, but he ends up going over to Kyle's house and he goes, let's see what he knows. Fuck. I'm trying to remember what the fuck exactly how he puts it. Let's see how he handles my blue penis. And then goes to the window, takes his dick out and starts swinging it around. And he goes, hey, respect people's privacy.
Oh, God.
Good.
Anyway.
I'm so happy that, honestly, South Park is funny again. Because they had like a season and a half where all they were doing was episodes about COVID. And I don't care. I don't give a shit.
I can't remember the last time I watched South Park, to be honest with you.
I would recommend the new season because it's fucking... I was laughing.
Well... I probably won't. I probably just won't watch it.
This is when, like, so fucking Gail's just like, oh, who's that? The person I want to talk to the most on Earth?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, great. Walt's right up to me.
I believe somebody shouts at Sidney, how does it feel to be almost slaughtered as she gets out of the police car?
That's great.
Good. That's great news reporting. That's going to go right on television for sure.
Like, Dewey gets out and strong arms that reporter away, but then also stays with that reporter, leaving the person who's the target of reporters to just continue to walk.
She's got it.
Great job.
Yeah. I honestly there isn't a scene where the cops are good.
No, there's not.
So, is this where
this is where Gale turns into fucking Sherlock Holmes. All right?
Yes.
Because Sidney comes up and is like, I just want to talk to you for a second.
Right.
About some bullshit. I don't know, fucking your dumb book. And then Gale just goes, oh, you're not so sure that he's the killer anymore, are you? Oh, are these murders related? Oh, do you know the killer? The current killer that's still on the loose? Is it the same as the other killer? Hey. Oh, I have a story. And all Sidney does is look at her. That's it. Oh, I got all the answers I need.
She does 1,000 times more work than the police does.
Yes. A tabloid journalist is better than an actual investigator.
She
didn't even need to pull phone records to draw those conclusions.
I think she also hints at her mom's a slut.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, dude, your whore mom?
I feel like everybody in this town knows about her whore mom.
Yes. Everyone does. Everyone does.
It's not a secret.
It's a mystery that Sidney herself doesn't know.
If you want to put it in, you just go to Sidney's mom.
Yeah, and she goes, "Yep."
Well, don't tell.
Fucking my husband's out of town all the time.
As long as you could keep it on the DL.
Sidney, go over to Tatum's place real quick, just cuz.
Just cuz. I'm assuming that. Yeah, just assuming.
Also. Worth noting that Gale is such a good reporter that she would not have noticed Sidney's arrival had Sidney not walked up to her. She was too busy doing her fucking makeup to notice the most important thing of the day for her. And I can still see the bruise. I'm sorry to say that. You're not doing your makeup well enough.
Look, are you going to do it for her?
Yeah.
Do you know how to properly cover up a bruise? Because maybe this is her first bruise.
Given her attitude, I doubt it.
So is Billy out of jail yet?
Yeah, Billy's out of jail. Sidney comes over to Stu and Tatum and asks if either of them have seen him. And then Stu goes, oh, just so you know, he's a broken man and it's your fault.
Yeah, because you branded him the Candyman.
Yeah.
Which is another reference to a movie that wasn't even on that fucking list.
Yeah, I didn't write it down either. It could be, all he does, he just says the word, right? Like, it's not, other of the references, that's not English. It's like they're having a dialogue about the movie itself, right? That's just, oh, you labeled him the Candyman? Oh, his heart's broken.
Candyman.
Matthew Lillard's favorite thing to do in this movie is stick his tongue out like Gene fucking Simmons.
And he also perch up on your shoulder.
Perch on your shoulder and then salivate.
Salivate.
He loves having a moist mouth and lips.
He also loves tilting his head so that his eyebrows are the first thing that come at you.
Yeah, and him and Billy, it's his favorite. Speaking of fucking Billy, who the fuck shows up? Just in time for the hallway to completely clear out, except for Sidney and Billy, despite it being full 10 seconds earlier.
The Ghostface costume streaker?
Yes. Fine. Full to the brim with students, that hallway, and then suddenly they're gone. Right after that.
Good. There would be too many people on screen. I'd get confused. Too many faces confuses my eyes.
Once again, Billy, being a very thoughtful, caring, and supportive boyfriend, goes, why don't you just get over your dead mom already and suck my dick? How come you're so hung up on your dead mom and you're not hung up on Dee's nuts?
In lighter words, he does. That's basically the word for word.
Fuck's sake. And like, okay, to be honest, this conversation doesn't need to happen. Because if I'm in a relationship and I suspect that my partner has tried to murder me, I want a break.
Yeah, a little bit.
Give me some time.
No, yeah, maybe don't show up at school and get in my face about why we're not fucking and my dead mom.
I need a few days to think about where this is going.
Yeah, I'm still under the impression that you're a murderer.
Mm-hmm. A little bit at least.
I feel like that should be pretty obvious by the way you just kind of got out of jail and like haven't done any convincing.
Any proof aside from a phone call.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sure, the cops say your phone records are clean, but Also, at some point, somebody mentions the fact that you can clone a cell phone number, which I don't think was technology back then, but they kind of came up with the idea. And so there's
I don't know if cell phone cloning existed back then. That's interesting. And literally every cell phone is a burner, so it's not like it matters.
At one point, Officer Dewey's like, well, could they have cloned the number? And then at the end, they're like, yeah, we cloned the number.
Yeah,
we cloned that fucking number. Your dad's got a cell phone, you stupid dumb bitch.
Probably in the same scene where he brings like the fucking Halloween costume he bought at the store, and he's like, they sell these fucking everywhere, dude. We're fucked. Also, Dewey is a better detective than the detective. Well, he did 2 better things than the actual sheriff of the town did.
Well, the sheriff just wants to stand there and smoke. Let him do it.
Yeah, he just wants to smoke and be very contemplative and thoughtful while illustrating retard plans that aren't going to work to a boy eating ice cream.
He chose that deputy. That's his deputy.
Yeah, it's probably so that he feels smart. It's like having the ugly... Neve Campbell goes right from being upset by Billy to the bathroom, where the typical horribly bitchy cheerleader and the friend that's ugly that she keeps around to make herself look hotter are just bitching about her in the stall.
Oh,
I think she faked the attack. And she's nuts. You know, her slut mom, and she's all fucked up now.
Yep. Oh.
Let me tell you, in Sidney's shoes, I would be using them to kick those stalls inward. Holy fuck.
Before that scene is the scene where they're talking and she's upset.
I'm sorry that my traumatized life doesn't fit into your perfect world or something like that.
Yeah, and then she
does the runoff. That fucking Anna Faris does a way better runoff in Scary Movie, dude.
Sid!
Arms flailing.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So we also get Henry Winkler expelling the Ghostface streakers.
Not before threatening them with tinning shears.
Where
did you get those? And how are you getting away with dragging them across the shirt of a student? How are we not telling mom and dad, dude, he almost put scissors in my throat because I put a mask on at school?
Honestly, like, I don't know how they didn't get cut through their sweater. Like, that's the thickest, sharpest pair of scissors I've ever seen.
Those are the scissors you would use to cut off a shirt to, like, address a wound.
Those are the scissors used to cut off a dick or a finger.
It's a Moyle scissors right there.
Oh my god. He cuts through the mask like it's cardboard or like a construction paper.
Why do you have those in school? I'm pretty sure you can't bring those into school. 9/11 really changed everything. All this, the scariest thing in a school before 9/11 was somebody in a Ghostface mask. Now it's guns.
Now it's guns, and when it used to be like a cold. People be like, oh, they're bringing the sickness to school.
Some people are still worried about that.
Yeah. Well,
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Now Sidney's in the bathroom, and there's like, maybe her slut mom, blah, blah, blah. She's just like her slut mom.
Yeah.
Slut
fucking
mom.
Dumb whore of a mom,
her
dude.
Mom.
Holy
seeing
fuck.
Her mom die made her crazy. That slut.
Pretty sure she fucked every guy in this town.
And then at some point, they're like, oh, well, where did you get that idea? I watch a lot of Ricky Lake.
Yeah, that's a reference people are going to know now. Ricky Lake, also known as female Jerry Springer.
Essentially.
Yeah, before it got so outrageous that it was a wrestling match.
You know what? Montel Williams. Female Montel Williams.
Or Maury.
Maury. Yeah, Maury had the shocking, like, this is the father, you're not the father. I feel like Ricky Lake was on that level.
Also, Phil Donahue, which is, anybody who likes Marilyn Manson is going to know who Phil Donahue is, because very early on in their career, they did an interview where they essentially outsmarted Phil Donahue, the host of his own show, by not being scumbags.
Nice.
Also, I'm pretty sure he had Gigi Allen on, and Gigi Allen went, I hate all people, especially you, and he had a reverse Hitler mustache.
Well, we can't really take all of what Gigi Allen says
as gospel, because you goddamn should.
Well, the man shits, shitted.
Yes.
He shat.
Yeah.
He used to shit.
On the floor, and then he would smear it all over himself. There's also footage of him shoving a banana in his asshole in front of a crowd of people. He used to break beer bottles, and then he would do front flips like fucking Steve-O, and then he would throw them into the crowd. He would just grab people and try to punch their teeth out. He used to smash the microphone into his own face until he knocked his own teeth out. The guy's a fucking punk legend. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, yeah.
And he fucked up in whatever year he died.
93?
93? Sure.
Was it? It was probably 93. He fucked up and... Yeah, I think it was 93.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, it's fucking these cheerleaders, they leave because obviously they're so unaware that they don't hear the door to the bathroom open and somebody walk in. They don't think to be like, hey, who's there, before we talk mad shit.
I certainly hope you're not the target of our shit talking.
Yeah,
also,
boy,
she goes
boy.
all the way into a stall and locks it. Like, it's right beside them. So they're just oblivious bimbos.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
You know, anytime you talk about somebody, they're always within earshot. That's just the way it is and will always be. Never talk about anybody.
On the topic of things they didn't hear, a grown man in a ghost costume also get into the bathroom and post up on a toilet.
Now, my question is...
How long has that man been in the girls' bathroom?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
and which one of them is it?
How and why? Again,
right.
How long and why? So
you can't have just assumed Sidney was going to go in there. You were just in there, man.
Yeah,
that was a lucky coincidence.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if it wasn't Sidney, it just would have been somebody else. and he got lucky because like after they leave, the dude's like, Sidney.
Yeah, lucky again. There's no way you could see her through the little crack.
Yeah, so. Like, she does the thing where she looks under the stall, things what she should have done in the first place.
I'll tell you right now, if there's somebody you suspect is hiding in a bathroom stall, don't bother looking underneath. Because anybody hiding in a bathroom stall has the presence of mind to put their feet up on the toilet seat.
Likely. That's likely.
Any peeping Tom is going to be like, well, that's the only way somebody could see I'm in here. I better make that not happen.
Well, for me, it's like I need to be away from people while I do my business.
Yeah.
So if I got to look under the stall to see
Sure.
which one's not being used.
Sure.
Because I'm going in the one that's not being used. As opposed to the one where somebody's tremendously shitting.
I'll do you one better.
Okay.
If I go into a public bathroom and any of the stalls are locked, guess what? End of shitting. I'll try again later.
Oh, I don't shit in public. I pee. I'm a stall pisser.
You're a stall pisser.
Yeah. I'm not gonna risk somebody posting up.
I'll be honest with you. I also don't shit in public.
That's good.
Because let me tell you,
sometimes I shit at work and I feel bad.
That's your most vulnerable.
It
also.
is.
You can't defend yourself from literally anything. I could get killed by a badger. Well, like I'm busy.
Yeah.
My pants are down. Literally, my dick is out if I stand.
I don't want people measuring the time I'm gone, or like the time I've been somewhere else.
That's a great point. Also,
I'm definitely it's 5 to 10 minutes. I'm getting cozy in there,
dude. I'm trying to get in and out of there like the Burger Shack.
Yeah, see, and I just can't shit like that. I got to know that all of the waste has been eliminated. I got to know that I've gotten all of the evil out of my body.
It's one of my least comfortable states of being, so I need it to end as quickly as possible.
It's like one of my favorite things.
I think what I'm gonna do is get my asshole dilated so it just falls out.
Well, welcome to the wonderful world of taking poppers.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I forgot that fact, and I was sad to be reminded of it.
Well, here we are.
Yep.
So, Sidney, this fucking boots step down off the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Big old boots.
Big fat boot. And now, here's the problem is she's standing upright when she notices them. I don't like that, because she wouldn't have been able to see them.
Maybe in the mirror? I don't know.
Okay, sure.
I liked that the boots come down and then like the rest of the costume as if
as
if he's holding it up daintily.
Yeah, like a Victorian princess.
I don't want to get the edges of my dress wet.
Yeah, with the toilet water on the floor. I mean, that's just you got to wear that thing all day.
It ain't toilet water. And you're in the woman's washroom too, so it's not like.
Also, it's piss.
Well, yeah, it's always piss, but like you always assume that the female washroom is a little classier.
You'd hope.
The piss always ends up in the toilet.
Well, unless you're doing the hover, which I would understand because it's a public bathroom.
Fair.
You
know? So we got the dude bursts out of the stall and like does like a grunt, like because normally Ghostface, I don't know, to my knowledge, is silent.
For the most part, yeah. Unless he's talking on the phone.
Yeah, it doesn't make too many like. Ugh.
You'll get an oof from him if he is somehow stopped and almost knocked out by a door in his face.
Oh, and that's fine because the wind will be knocked out.
Yeah.
But like I think at this one, the guy's like, ugh! He does like that. I'm like, is that Ghostface?
Yeah,
Are we looking at another streaker?
Again, it's probably Stu.
Because there was 2 people that got expelled. Mm-hmm. There was two
later
pranks.
on. They're at Stu's party, asshole. Big fucking asshole, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, really? You're gonna invite the 2 guys that did the thing, like the homage to you? All right. Sidney fucking steals home plate sliding past Ghostface trying to grab her.
Oh, love it.
Holy shit.
Love it. He takes a sink to the groin area.
Yeah, he does.
The gut. And then you get Courteney Cox flirting with somebody who seems mentally, I don't know, not all there. An adult with maybe the brain of like a 10-year-old.
Or a 12-year-old, which is what she says to him. As far as his boyish good looks, which are self-described by Dewey.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 12, implying that Gale in this movie considers it acceptable to flirt with somebody who's 12. Who's either 12 physically or mentally or both.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Big oops. I
don't like this scene because of how many times Dewey allows himself to be stopped by a reporter he doesn't want to talk to. Like, it's flirting, right? And he's like, she's hot. But, of course, it's a woman, and he's, that. So he's going to think she's hot. Probably in the same way he thinks his own fucking mom's hot.
Ew. But, yeah. But
it's the only way to explain why he cares so much about mom's opinion at age 25 is if he didn't stop breastfeeding until age 13.
I don't like the points you're raising, but there are good ones.
Anyway, yeah, Gale's a pedophile.
So this is where this is where that weird, creepy flirtation thing, and then it's hey, all classes are suspended. Get home. There's a curfew. And Matthew Lillard's like, where are my parents at? They've not been here this entire fucking time. Party at my place. Is this the Children of the Corn Town? Where are anybody's goddamn parents?
Parents are basically there to announce their departure from the movie.
Yeah,
that's it. They're either already out of town or they're on their way out.
Yeah,
there's a killer. Fuck these kids.
This is the worst weekend to have a fucking mass murder because I've got that convention and I just cannot miss it.
Yeah, I have CES to get to so I can look at the new kind of drone.
I want to see somebody cough on a drone. I'm going to CVS or.
Consumer Entertainment or Electronics showcase. I don't know. They have it in Vegas.
What's the 3 for?
That's E3. It's different.
Oh.
E3 is Electronic Entertainment Expo, maybe?
I don't know.
One's for cool drones and the other is for video games, all right?
And then the other is a nice place to get a beverage and also some medication.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yep.
And also pick up your prescription, probably.
Oh, absolutely. So we're back to fucking Arthur Fonzarelli here. It's Henry Winkler, and he's wearing the scream mask, trying to spook himself in the mirror.
And chuckling about it like a fucking psychopath. That's his moment that you think he might be the killer.
That is.
He's being very cavalier with scissors 5 minutes before that.
Very cavalier.
Around kids.
World sharpest scissors. I cannot...
You could cut a diamond with those scissors.
Honestly, you hear him cut through the mask, and it's like...
Yeah.
Did you even struggle? Anyway, so yeah, he's like, he's trying to spook himself in the mirror. I guess I don't know what he's doing.
Me neither.
And then
he gets ding dong ditched.
Yeah, knock knock knock. Nobody's there.
Didn't know that Ghostface was also the Flash, because that's an empty hallway when he opens the door every time.
Well, I mean, he disemboweled the Steve.
Yeah, so he's fast when he wants to be.
Yeah,
but then when he's chasing somebody upstairs, he takes his sweet fucking time.
Yeah, he's really...
when he's stabbing, he takes his sweet time.
He's really stealthy until you see him in the background fumbling through a bush.
Yeah, which you do see.
Oh, you do see.
And how any of the characters in the movie didn't see it baffles me to this day. Because what's that?
Who's that man in the bushes?
Immediately in the bushes, what's that black figure with a mask on?
Anyway. So Henry Winkler fucking... He's like, all right, somebody knocked, and he turns around, he's doing something else, and there's more knocks. So
he's like, all right, fuck this.
I'm chasing this piece of shit down.
I'm going through the whole faculty lunchroom out into the main hallway.
So he's
muttering sons of bitches under my breath.
Oh, he's cussing up a storm.
Mm-hmm.
Until he bumps into Freddy Krueger.
The janitor, okay? And the janitor says, what did you call me? And then we get a look at the janitor, and he's fucking Freddy Krueger from hat to shoes.
fucking head.
Tippity top to bickety bottom, Freddy.
If you dressed up Ron Jeremy to look like Freddy Krueger, that's the man sweeping the hallway.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger with long hair and a mustache, unfortunately.
Yeah, but like, look at him.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's like if Ron Jeremy was cast as Freddy Krueger and there was a weight requirement.
What? Wesley Craven. We get it.
Westeros Craven.
We fucking get it.
You made good movies, okay? Don't throw them in my fucking face.
What kind of janitor wears a sweater?
What kind of janitor wears a filthy hat? Or like a filthy, full-brimmed fedora like a detective in a noir film.
So many good points.
Never seen a janitor wear that.
This guy's dressed as a janitor if he was janitoring like a Christmas party.
Yeah.
At a business where there's also like a private eye.
Who goes to their job as a janitor in their home clothes?
Whose home clothes?
I'd wear that fucking sweater. Are you kidding me? That sweater looks so comfortable.
In the summertime, you wear that sweater?
Maybe they cranked the AC in there because everybody's perspiring from stress about a murderer. I'm reaching, obviously, because it doesn't make any damn sense.
You are. Just like
everybody's wearing a fucking sweater. Matthew Lillard has a sweater on literally this whole movie.
I just can't picture somebody being like, look, I gotta go to work where I buff and polish tile floor.
Where I bust my ass for 8 hours.
I'm gonna wear my nice Christmas sweater and my formal fedora. In case
there's a crime to solve.
I'm gonna look my fucking best today.
Yeah.
Despite mop water splashing up on me, I definitely want something that's gonna absorb that.
Yeah,
and
so
really
that
stink when
so
I'm
that
done.
it ruminates in the fabric of this wool sweater I'm wearing.
Oh my god. So yeah, freaking what did you call me? And then he's just like, yeah, not you. Never mind. And then he goes back to his office where the door to his closet is now closed.
The door to his closet is closed. And also the door to the principal's office, after he opens the fucking closet door and startles himself because he's still holding the mask for some reason, he forgot that, swings shut, and behind it is the killer. I can 100% guarantee you that from that closet opening, I would be able to see in that little ingle nook behind the door. It's barely ajar. It's been swung over like 90 degrees. Okay, there's still a channel that you can visibly see what's behind it.
He's also got his arms up, like he was
hanging off of some shit. Like he was hanging off of the door frame.
Like you didn't see that shit.
Scooby-Doo hiding from a villain.
Yeah, he's just making his body as thin as it could be.
And then when he steps out, Henry Winkler has his back to the door, but then Ghostface still flails his arms like, surprise, it's me, to nobody but his damn self.
Well, yeah, he can't see, so he's like,
the jazz hands.
All this
shit, you were
nothing.
turned around? What the fuck am I here for?
As well, in that closet is the Arthur Fonzarelli jacket from Happy Days.
Also, when he startles himself, he adjusts his hair like the Fonz did in the show.
Of course he did. That's probably like his natural reaction to just...
like in any movie or television show. Well, better put on my Fonz face.
The older he gets, the worse it gets, too. Cause it's the Arthur Fonzarelli dementia.
He's in a nursing home, just... whoops. Because he shit his pants.
Okay. And anytime the music stops, he just walks over and just punches it.
Yeah. It's fucking constantly cut up on one hand. He doesn't understand it was fake.
Oh boy. So yeah, it doesn't go well for him.
No, he gets very stabbed. He gets stabbed right up nicely.
Nice and neat.
And now we just cut to the house party that starts at fucking noon for some reason. Like it's broad daylight. School's been suspended. School got out early.
They're on Sid's friend's porch talking about if she fingered the wrong man.
Yeah, I thought they were at the front of Stu's house.
No,
they're not.
No, they're like on the porch because then later they still go to the grocery store.
Right, they go to the fucking grocery store.
So this is where they're
Whose porch are they on?
They're on Tatum's porch.
They're on Tatum's, okay.
And they're just like, what if I fingered the wrong guy? Then that killer's still out there.
I had a bunch of points about the fact that they were already at Stu's place that now I don't get to say. That's fine.
Bring him up. Let me hear him.
No.
Okay. So yeah, they leave the porch, and then the camera zooms in on the bushes, and there's Ghostface just rummaging through the shrubbery.
It's like in the clearing in the bush. Like there's more on either side of him that he could have hidden.
Yeah.
And he chose the most visible spot to stand and creep.
If he would have stayed in one spot, he would have been fine. But he chose to go from bush to bush.
And slink around. Like like Ace Ventura.
Slink is a fucking fantastic word.
Tatum is a real piece of shit friend again. So Sidney really didn't want to go to this house party. And Tatum goes, "Will you come for me?" And all right, fine. And now that she's agreed to go to the house party, I just want you to know that I'm skeptical of your ability to point out your mother's murderer. And also, she was more of a slut than even you think. She fucked everybody. And that's been the rumor around town for years.
Yeah.
Years and years. So you put an innocent man behind bars, and also your mom's dead. Yeah. In case you forgot. I've only mentioned it 3 times in the past 24 hours.
During this conversation, she also, Sydney's like, what about this? What if the killer's still out there? And then Tatum's like, stop it. You sound like a John Carpenter flick. Halloween. Halloween is the movie.
Ooh,
Halloween's the flick she's referring to.
Ooh, Wes. Gonna throw shade at an OG?
Put him right in the fucking shade.
Damn.
So now we're at Randy's place of work, which is Blockbuster.
It is.
It's Blockbuster.
They obviously weren't allowed to call it that, but it is. That's what the fuck it is.
That's exactly what the fuck it is.
I don't know how the fuck Randy is employed here when it takes 3 seconds of conversation for him to fly off the handle and begin screaming about murders.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's doing that all the time. He's probably doing that every day, whether or not there's been a murder.
Tell me, what kind of fucking town do you live in when there's been murders?
Yeah.
And that causes the entire town to flock to the horror section of your local video rental place.
Now, in contrast to your opinion, I'll tell you right to your face, that's exactly what I would do as a person.
Wow.
Oh, there's been murders down the street from me? I gotta watch some horror movies about it. Pretty much any reaction to anything has to do with watching horror movies about it.
Well, for me, I'm living in that horror movie. I'm going to look out the window for the suspense I need. Anybody walking by, that person. Are they coming up to my house? Oh, they're not. Okay.
You're like my friend's racist mom. There's one.
Well, mine's more rooted in fear.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And theirs is pretty rooted in fear, I think.
But my
fear is a racist fear, though.
My fear is more acceptable because it's just a murder.
No, it just has to do with you dying.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like a certain person.
It's just like a murderer pulling all of my guts out of my stomach and leaving them on the road kind of murder feel. Like it's a fear that I have. It's just like that.
You could be black, white, brown, or purple.
Oh, I don't care who's doing it. I'm just afraid of it happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we're at Randy's place of work, and he's just walking around, doing things. Stuart's slapping tapes out of his hands. It's hilarious.
Dude, he slaps the tapes out of his hands and he goes, "Wow!" Just like to call attention to it.
Yup.
So good. That's something I would do. That's something I would do to you. Like, I fucking walk into the weed store and you hand me an eighth and I just go, bah!
And then you get that eighth chucked at your head. It doesn't do any damage. It weighs 3.5 grams.
Yeah, and it's fucking plastic, but it would be funny.
So during the scene, somebody comes up to Randy and is like, "Hey, do you have that movie with E.T.'s mom about the werewolves?"
Guess what movie that is?
The Howling.
I didn't know.
Neither did I.
I did not know that was E.T.'s mom when we watched that.
Neither did I. And then so he straight ahead. This is where that fucking movie is. That's just was a fun little. Oh, I remember that movie.
Yeah, that piece of shit movie.
We're discussing a movie I have seen.
So at this point, I sort of start to believe that Randy as a character is just the viewer, like the audience, because he's got the horror movie rules, right? And he's got the fucking what I would be if I were in this movie, and it's what he is. And then they have the conversation about motive and stuff, and he lists what his motive would be. Which is a conversation that people would have while they're watching the movie. So I just think that he's like supposed to be the eyes of the viewer a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like he's on the outside looking in for most of the movie.
He very much so is. Yeah. Right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So in this video store we got Billy, and Billy's in the horror section, which upsets everybody. They're like, well,
he's in the horror section flirting with 2 other girls.
hey, Billy, come on now.
And sensually interacting with a lollipop.
So while this is happening,
it's Matt Lillard and Randy discussing whether or not Billy could be the killer.
And he's like, well, yeah, I think it's him because she didn't fuck him, so he tried to kill her.
Yeah. Motives are incidental. It's the millennium. That was his motive.
Yes.
But he also says, you look at him and you tell me that's not a killer. I won't. I'll look at him and I'll agree with you immediately because it is one.
To be honest, he kind of looks like Johnny Depp a little bit.
It looks like, yeah, sure.
That's what I got. I'm like, oh, Johnny Depp. He looks like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street.
It looks like Johnny Depp if he was cast in Natural Born Killers.
He looks like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street, who was the guy who got thrown in jail for being the suspect.
Also, the guy who crawled through his girlfriend's window to surprise her.
Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, that's just and then I think Randy's like, well, do you think Sidney would fuck me?
And fucking Matthew Lillard does that little like hand covering the mouth thing, like a cheeky little girl's giggle,
being very coy. Yes,
and then just no, I'll shatter your dreams right here at the video store while you're at work,
and it's probably for the best.
It is.
So. And I don't know what sets him off, but he starts shouting about.
He's talking about how nobody watches the fucking movies, and if they did, they'd know how to behave and they wouldn't die.
Yeah.
If they'd watched Prom Night, they would know everyone is a suspect. Before that, he goes, "There's always some bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend," and in the background, out of focus, there's a woman perusing in a different aisle.
Yeah, there is.
Who looks up at the back of his head terrified and then leaves the shot.
I noticed her too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He goes off about how everybody's a suspect. There's always a formula.
Mm-hmm. Very simple I need to emphasize how simple the formula is.
The dad being the killer was Stewart's theory. He says like the dad's a red herring. It was Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't turn around.
Yeah. He's right behind me, isn't he?
So Billy flips it around. And he's like, hey, I was in the store. You were shouting my name. I came.
I really didn't have a choice.
I heard my name, so I came.
And then this is like, okay, so now the prime suspect, if it wasn't Billy, is because he basically just threatens to kill Randy with his eyes. And then Matt Lillard from the back does the same thing and hugs him at the same time. And it's like, oh, you're in a murder sandwich, aren't you? You're the mustard.
Oh, God.
Colonel Mustard in the middle of the murder sandwich in the library.
Fuck. This is where you get fucking Matthew Lillard. All he does is just perch and brow. That's all he does. Mm-hmm. Perch and brow. Where you get your back to him, well, guess what? He's all up in your shit and his brows.
He's like a meerkat.
So, yeah, Randy, this is where he'd be the suspect. And it's the millennium because this is incidental.
Yeah.
And the town is shutting. We get like a montage of the town shutting down because it's curfew.
It's weird to me that all of the adults are obeying a curfew set out for teenagers because the only dead people up to this point are teenagers. So why would they feel fear about it?
Mm-hmm. Why would they start closing down so goddamn early, too? The curfew's 9 p.m.
The curfew's 9. We're going to close while the sun's still up.
Yeah. I mean, like... Dewey still has police officer things to do, clearly. They're at the police station now. They
involve getting ice cream.
Yeah, we don't know if that was part of his duties or not. But, like, he shows up later as the chief is smoking, and he's, like, eating an ice cream as if they're the same.
Both smoking, yeah. So every time the fucking sheriff drags off the cigarette, he just has a little lick.
Yeah. And
upper and bottom lip at the same time, talking uncomfortably close to each other.
As you do.
Oh, my God.
As you do.
The sheriff outlines this whole plan for how we're gonna do a full street switch. Like, you're saying useless strategies here. A door-to-door campaign. Yeah, you caught me. Because that's how that works.
We're really gonna look for the killer in places where people go. We'll get him.
Exactly. Oh my God. And he's saying it like he had a fucking, like this is going to be the most fucking genius covert revelation. We're going to catch him tonight.
And so we're cutting between this and Sidney and her friend going through a grocery store. I don't know what they're getting groceries for.
Stu's house party.
when do any of them eat any of this food?
They didn't.
Nope. Anyway, so this is...
so it's like when an alcoholic goes into a liquor store and gets some groceries because it's 10 a.m. And I don't want to be seen buying just wine. All
right. Fair. So they're getting stuff out of like the frozen section, and Sidney's having this conversation about how she considers herself sexually anorexic.
Okay.
And she's like, well, yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe seeing my mom get raped and murdered, maybe it did put me off a fucking,
maybe
just a little.
It did make me a little prickly when guys touch me.
Yeah. So she's kind of like, maybe she's having second thoughts about this underwear rule that she's got laid out.
Here's the problem. Your motivation for having second thoughts about your virginity and not wanting to lose it, or, it's never established whether or not they fucked. I assume they did. But your prudish nature at this point, the way that she says that she should be rethinking it is so self-blaming, and Tatum doesn't do anything about it. Nah, you're right. It is your problem. You are the reason your relationship's falling apart because you won't bang. It doesn't have to do with your domineering boyfriend who's concerned with one thing and it's not your feelings.
God, she's such a good friend.
Fucking Tatum.
Such a
Maybe it is a good
friend.
idea to just remove the boundaries that you have in place to make yourself feel good in order to open your legs for a guy. You're on the right track.
Yeah. And now let's walk off while Ghostface is crouched down by the chips.
Was he actually?
You didn't catch that?
I didn't see that at all.
So they walk off, and
why is he in the convenience store with them?
The camera turns over to the glass, and in the reflection you see him crouched down.
I did not
scuttle by the chips.
Where's the cashier? Hey,
yeah.
I don't even allow hoods in my store.
Yeah, no, for real though. How did he sneak by the fucking...
Also, how are they at the grocery store when the curfew is already in place and people are closing?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, why are people... I think people are shutting down early for this curfew. They're really like, oh, a curfew? Well, that's...
Fuck yeah, I get to go home and smoke weed.
That's my excuse to fucking close up at 4.
Yeah. It's fucking beer o'clock at my place.
Curfew, bitches.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that happens. And then we cut back to the officers, and they're like, "Oh, you're smoking. You seem that must be a." And he's like, "Well, yeah, I'm stressed. It's a stressful thing.
Is not. There's a murder in my town. It's not the time to not smoke."
Yeah, boy, oh boy, am I ever stressed when the results of the phone results came back and they were there and blatant, and so that seems like case closed to me. But I'm stressed because I'm smoking.
So the results of the phone tap, it got traced back to Sidney's dad's phone.
Neil Prescott.
Yeah. So now, maybe it is the dad.
Maybe it is the dad.
Because he plays the calls.
Or is it Dewey? Or is it fucking... Well, we got
anybody
Randy.
with $5 and access to a store that sells electronics.
Anybody.
Yeah, maybe it could be anybody.
Who has done it is the question on all of our minds at this point.
This is when he goes, yeah, I want you real close to Sidney. First, poor choice of words. But also, I'm going to leave my least competent person that in charge of the most important person in town right now.
Yeah, we're gonna, the guy who's likely named after some clown? Yeah, let's get Dewey on it. Hey, Dewey. Now,
Dewey sounds like a dog that needs those back leg wheelchair.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, oh my God. So in this conversation, he's like, yeah, so the phone calls came from Neil Prescott. And what's more, it's the anniversary of the rape and murder.
Ooh.
The old R&M on his wife.
We haven't been able to get a hold of her dad all movie.
We haven't been able to get a hold of anybody's dad all movie.
Where are all the dads?
So...
Must be a dadvention in town.
It's the expo. It's the Dad Expo.
Yeah.
Dad Expo 96.
D3.
So, yeah, here we go. We're going to the party.
We're going to Stu's fucking party. Stu, More like Stu Hefner. You see his fucking robe?
His smoking jacket?
It's obviously his dad's fucking smoking jacket.
So classy.
And you go, that's a little bit disrespectful that you're just wearing your dad's clothes because they're out of town. And then Billy shows up and he goes, hey, why don't you two go fuck in my parents' bed?
Yeah. Well,
so if you thought the clothing theft was bad enough, don't worry. We're going to just cover their bed in fluids as well.
My parents are out of the... They're gone for the weekend. That's long enough to get the fucking seminal stains out of their comforter.
I'll just do an extra. I'll just double up the load.
I'll just get rid of the load.
I know Billy's going to.
Yeah.
Because he's so backed up, it's going to look like in Scary Movie.
He's got a heavy load.
Yeah, he does. To bear.
So
unto Sidney.
Yeah. This is where we get the shot of like a parade of cars driving off to Stu's. Sorry, I got the S names wrong there. Fine. And then you get the fucking news team, the astute on the pulse news team that are gonna stake out this high school party in the hopes that a murder happens. So
in order to be as hidden as possible, right? Because this is covert reporting. We're not trying to get outed. Two of the attendees to this party got dropped off in the same cruiser that dropped them off earlier and at school. So I know that it's Dewey in there. So I'm probably good. But just in case, let's make sure nobody else clocks us as news reporters at this party where there's underage drinking. By parking in the dead center of the road in the very front of the house, super visibly where everyone can see.
Let's just hope they don't look out the window.
Or arrive.
Well, they slowed down and dropped the bag of chips.
Yeah.
So that to be sure they would be the last people to arrive.
Okay, fine.
Because,
that's the reason.
The party starts promptly at 9.
It does.
If you're there late,
there's no fashionable
doors locked.
About it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Dewey fucking drops him off. And the news team is clearly up to something.
Yeah. In this case, the something is we got to get a camera in there.
Oh, yes. Let's get a, by the way.
Let's get a
very, very discreet camera.
A spy camera. You know the ones that people slip under the door? It'll be like that. It'll be so impossible to notice because of its discreet nature. Yeah,
and honestly, it's going to slip in with all of these electronics and you won't notice it because of just, technology. It's so small. It's like one of those small cameras, except it's really fucking big.
It's definitely not the same JVC that I bought for $300 when I was about 20 years old for school that had a hand strap and didn't fit in the palm.
Oh, for sure. It certainly isn't that camera, but also with like a router or home phone antenna glued to it.
Also, I'm Courteney Cox. I'm going to use Dewey as a cover to sneak into this party sight unseen because I'm his date.
I'm an old lady at a high school party. Don't mind me. I'm on the news.
Let me put this camera in a spot where it'll be hidden for the entire night. Now, let's think.
Well, yeah, there's so many places to put it. Where would you put it?
I mean, like if there was Stu's house is a rich man's labyrinthian nightmare, so they must have money.
Oh, absolutely. There's all kinds of shelves and knickknacks,
doors that
everywhere.
Open recessed into the walls that just open to a set of stairs that go into another door in a circle impossibly. So
millionaire stuff.
I would try and scout out like a mantle that had a lot of shit on it. You know, like somewhere like tchotchkes that not too many people are going to look at.
That makes sense.
If there was like a bear, like you know how they'll hang bear heads with the mouth open.
Oh yeah,
you can stick it in there.
Oh, you could.
What I didn't think of, and this was really smart on Gail's part in this movie, putting it in the spot where people are going to be looking at all night and being real close to because it's right above the VHS player and this is a movie watching party. I'll put the camera where everyone will see it and somehow nobody will see it, despite it being the size of a baby.
Yeah, and also she really does her best to make sure that it's hidden and not jutting out of the entertainment system over top of the VHS player.
And she also does a really good job of making sure that anybody who was paying attention to her movements would consider them suspicious. As she slinks, again, around the party and then crouches weirdly next to the television and VHS player and obviously puts something down.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the way she kept her back to the wall the entire time. And moved sideways like a crab throughout the party. Yeah,
I would just assume you put a camera in my house.
Oh, yeah.
Even if there wasn't, why that person put a camera in my house? Look at the way they acted just now.
If they're not putting something down, they're picking something up. What are you?
Yeah, and it's something that was here before they were.
Yeah, where's my?
They're stealing it.
Where's my videotape of boners? You put that back, Courteney Cox.
I'm sorry. Did you say bones?
No.
Oh.
Boners.
Oh.
Like bones.
Well, because I could lend you bones.
Oh, no.
But my boners are not for you.
And I don't want
Unless
them.
you say please.
No, this is a videotape of mine.
Oh.
I'm keeping track.
But yep, I get it.
So
it's like doing a self-breast exam.
She.
You want to make sure it's all good in the ups and downs.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Except I'm just looking at boners. So yeah, the least discreet thing I've ever seen is this fucking camera.
And somehow she gets the fuck away from it with it too.
So Tatum, she needs beers.
Yeah.
She's got to go get beers for the party. Where is she going?
Well, Tatum needs beers because Stu, despite answering the door, having to get up in order to do so, is too lazy to continue walking to the garage to get the beers. So makes his girlfriend do it. Right before this, they're having a conversation where Sidney is just bitching about how Jamie Lee Curtis exists. And Randy calls her the Scream Queen. And then Stu says, yeah, with a set of lungs like that, she should be. And then Tatum says, see, tits. It's all they're interested in. First of all, he said nothing about tits. He said lungs. And fine, if that's like the joke, that's the in-joke. When I was in high school, my group of friends, when we were tasked with describing a large-breasted woman, we would call her very intelligent. And that was like the dog whistle. Yeah, she's got a fat rack. Very judgmental tone when Tatum says this. I don't know if you noticed, but her nips are the most prominent thing on her body. Her nips are out this whole party.
I did not notice.
Holy shit, it must be cold in Stu's house.
He probably does that on purpose.
It must be cold and braless in Stu's house.
Well, it's the 90s.
That's the rules?
Well, yeah. Have you never seen Friends? I'm surprised that Jennifer Aniston didn't tear holes in every sweater.
So to answer your question, Tatum has to go to the garage.
Yes.
To get to the beers.
The beers.
Mm-hmm.
The tears for beers.
Yeah. Well, again, the movie's not called Shout, it's called Scream. Earlier, I said that Shout was a Depeche Mode song. It might be a Tears for Fears song. I get those two mixed up. They sound so similar.
So, yeah, she goes to the garage. The garage door.
Yeah.
Not tip-top shape.
No. It takes a little less than a breeze in order to open and shut it. The door into the house from the garage.
Okay, I'm thinking of the electronic door that goes halfway up and then just decides to go back down.
Yeah, it does that because fucking Ghostface pressed the button.
Well,
but
when she walks in, she pushes the button and it goes like, and then it goes back down again. I don't know. Maybe she double pushed it
first. Okay.
Maybe she double pushed the button just to test to see if it works. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. No, I do vaguely remember that. So she's busy in the fridge, and the door to the house creaks loudly and shuts with a latch.
It shuts so loudly it upsets the cat that is in there somewhere.
And yet she doesn't hear that.
The cat meows and takes off through the cat door, leaving it cartoonishly flapping in the breeze.
This is the second. Actually, it's not the second. It's one time of many, because I lost count at this point. Time where the method of murder is telegraphed before the actual murder.
Oh, yeah.
It happens a couple times in this movie on purpose, which is good.
It's very Final Destination.
Yeah, it's like a nice reward if you're actually paying attention. Fucking Tatum grabs more beers than she can reasonably carry because she doesn't want to make more than one trip because she's fucking sick of it, and I understand that.
Yeah. Oh, but at that point, just put them in your pockets. Put them in a bag. Line them up. Put them on the step. Go back for more.
Here's my other thing. She tries the door back into the house and it's locked. How did Ghostface lock the door and still be inside the garage?
Ghost.
Just because he's a ghost. Also, where did he go in the garage after he closed the door?
You don't, all you see is the door creak closed.
Yeah.
So I don't think he did that.
That was just like lucky. He just got lucky by being in the garage at the same time that somebody gets locked in. Why wouldn't you fucking unlock the door before you go in the garage so you don't get locked out?
Let's pretend that him like swiftly moving through the door was enough of a breeze.
Okay. Hey, sure.
It closed, but
I'll take that.
Again, door's locked.
So Tatum's like, fuck it, and she tries the garage, and it does the same thing that I guess it did earlier that I missed, which is it goes up halfway, and then she turns around, and it's Ghostface fucking with the buttons.
Yes, it is.
Again, cartoonish chase scene around a very enclosed space. I don't know how Ghostface isn't just grabbing her by reaching out.
It's scary movie.
Holy fuck.
It's scary.
Yeah. Do you want to play Psycho Killer?
Yeah, she asks him some taunting questions, and he's like, yeah. You can be the helpless victim. He's giving yes or no not answers.
And then, it's funny till it isn't.
It's funny till it isn't. It's funny till she gets cut.
Yeah.
Everybody.
By a knife.
It's always funny until somebody gets sliced on their arm.
Later on in the movie, Sidney says, if Tatum sees you here, she's going to draw blood.
That's right. When Billy shows up at the party.
Yep.
So,
cheeky, Wes.
Very,
cheeky.
very, very cheeky.
Something Freddy Krueger would say after he killed somebody.
It is. But instead we get Tatum just throwing beer bottles at this guy's balls.
It's and like pinpoint accuracy with this aim too. Balls face.
She's a sniper.
Fine.
She's a beer bottle sniper.
That line, by the way, I figured it out. It's something Freddy Krueger would say after killing somebody at a blood bank.
I like it.
Type B positive.
We're gonna spill a little fluid, and then he just slices a blood bag, I guess.
Just like pisses in her mouth.
Neither or.
Tatum decides to try and go out the cat door, which is smaller than a dog door, and you don't fit in a dog door. So don't even try to do that. How about this? How about, since Ghostface is nowhere near the fucking button for the garage, hit it again and run. Hit it again and do a fucking Neve Campbell baseball slide, right? Indiana Jones, and come back for the single beer you dropped.
Exactly. Indiana Jones.
Instead, we're going to try and squeeze through the cat door, and then we learn that this garage door was, it's made of adamantium.
Oh, and it's got at least a 10 horsepower motor on it.
At least. Because it still raises with a full body's worth of weight on it, which, first of all, they have mechanisms in place to prevent that from happening, which is why nobody gets crushed in garage doors. Well, anyway, since
before 9/11, this is 9/11 changed everything.
That must have been a post 9/11 edition.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So that fucking goes all the way up and squishes her fucking stuck ass head against the top of the garage.
Her practical effects skull just
so good.
Oh,
why wouldn't you just squeeze your ass back out of the cat door and then go underneath it?
Yeah, I would have probably just like narrowed my shoulders.
Yeah, and like I'm spelunking
and fallen. Yeah,
she'd be terrible as a cave diver.
Well, yeah,
you'd be rescuing her fucking every 2 days.
She's the motherfucker in the Nutty Putty cave. By the way, there's
that poor man. Holy shit!
No fucking way a garage door motor has enough.
That's what I'm
power
saying.
To crush a skull. 100%.
Now it does break, but it does that before it breaks. And you're right. That would just be. It would just stop. You might choke a little.
Yeah, you probably get a bump on your head.
Yeah,
but that's it.
And then the garage door just collapses like it does in Scary Movie. That's much more like realistic of an thing happening.
Oh my god. So while this is happening, they're voting on which horror movie they're gonna watch at this party.
And what do they settle on?
God, what do they? I think it's Halloween.
It's Hellraiser.
Are we sure?
I am. Because I went back a couple times.
Because
they watch Hellraiser first.
Okay.
During the original conversation, and then when we get to the rules. That we're watching Halloween now.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis is not in Hellraiser.
No, it's pretty early on into Halloween once he starts getting angry that people aren't listening to him. Which, I mean, Randy has Asperger's. He knows every fucking rule about horror movies. He's got the howling on deck despite it being 20 years old by that point.
God, yeah, he's
a savant, all right? He's got one particular set of skills, and it's one thing, and it's knowing horror movies.
So particular.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
And also knowing time codes for when tits are in those movies. Like Chris Griffin, when he works at the video store with H. John Benjamin.
Oh, right.
Holy shit.
And he tells him, like, oh, yeah, I watched that movie. And he's like, so what did you think? I'm not going to tell you. He's like, you got to tell me what you thought of the movie.
Event Horizon.
That's right. So I couldn't figure out why at this point people just started leaving the party. Like, the party's not over. There's still a crowd of people there watching a movie after a while, but, like, people are leaving. How are these people leaving the party and not seeing the girl's crushed skull hanging from the fucking... Where is this door?
Okay,
where
we
is
go.
it?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna have to go through a lot of what happens in this movie in order to explain this.
Okay, go for it. Pencils down, everybody.
I fast forwarded and rewound the scene, the entire Stu's house sequence, so that I could figure out the layout of this fucking house. Because during the chase scene with Sidney, it's fucking baffling. Because she fucking leaves a door and goes downstairs, and he's coming down the other set of stairs like a goddamn M.C. Escher painting. So I was trying, I needed to fucking... I didn't want it to be like The Purge, where I couldn't picture what the interior of the house looked like. The garage door. Sidney gets chased. Important things happen in between. She falls out of a window onto a boat. That's when we see a 6-foot-high fence beside the boat and the front lawn. So the garage door, the doors to the garage are at the side of the house obscured by a fence. The other reason I had to look that up is because Dewey and Gail literally walk past it and they don't see her say shit twice.
Yeah.
It's because you can't see her.
All right.
It's fucking unacceptable. No, it's fully unacceptable, but I have to take it. Because otherwise Wes Craven fucked up real bad. People come and go from this place over and over again. Mm-hmm. And nobody goes, what's that body dangling from the garage?
Boy, Halloween's not for another couple months, Stu.
That's a weird ornament.
Yeah. Nice.
Where are your parents?
Kind of looks like your girlfriend's crushed skull.
Oh my god, dude.
Where are your fucking parents?
So I got real mad because also when Sidney falls out of that window and lands on the boat, she runs for like 5 minutes to get around to the back of the front of the house.
Yeah, she does.
So it's off. It's elsewhere.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Obscured by fences and laundry lines.
Fine.
Holy shit. No, I knew. This is when fucking Billy shows up, though, and then Stu's just like, I mean, this party's pretty sick, but it would be sick if you guys fucked in my bed. Actually, it's for me, not you.
Please.
I'm mad at them. This would be great revenge.
Yeah, how strange that Billy just kind of shows up after this fucking murder.
Yeah, weird, right? Just on time like that, all the time.
Yeah.
And Stu is not surprised to see him.
No, not
That's
at all.
also weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and you go use my parents' room for whatever.
Yeah, and then fucking subtlety, work on it, and then, okay, so we know he was talking about fucking then.
I think we have a good idea.
And then, so upstairs, again, now, and this is a trend that you may have noticed up to this point. Anytime Billy and Sidney get alone in a room, their conversation could be summed up in a sentence. This one is, I don't want to be a dead whore like my mother is and was. Anyway, let's get naked in your friend's parents' bed.
Yep. You boiled that down to a nice reduction.
She goes on and on about her feelings and he's not listening. And then at the end, she's like, I'm ready. No, she doesn't even say I'm ready. You know what she says?
What does she say?
I think so.
Oh!
Dude, if consent was a boat, you're over the side.
We're
not on the boat, man.
There definitely
we're in a dinghy with a Somalian pirate coming up the back of the boat.
There's no yes or no. I
guess.
I wish my life was a good porno. Is also what she says.
That is what she says.
A Meg Ryan movie or a good porno.
So like a tear-jerking romantic drama, or just a fuck film. Just a fuck film that you see in a place you've paid money to get into. A fuck film on a sticky seat.
She said good porno, not howling porno.
I think she might have said really good porno, in fact.
Well, She can have a really good porno after she has the good porno. Work your way up.
Yeah. So if people are leaving, at this point, this is also while this is happening, Randy is explaining the rules to the crowd of people who are more interested in the movie than the rules, which makes him that asshole at the party.
Yep.
I wrote down the rules because I thought it was going to be longer than 3 rules.
I also wrote the rules down. I thought there was going to be longer.
Never have sex. Never drink or do drugs, which everyone at the party is doing. Both of those things. And never say, I'll be right back. And then Matthew Lillard says, I'll be right back when he goes and gets beers right after that.
Like
which
an
is another
asshole.
Yeah.
But,
bit of a red flag about him, though.
Yeah. He's got nothing to worry about. He's fine.
He forgot one rule, though.
Oh?
Yeah. And it doesn't really apply in this film because there aren't any. But don't be black. Name a black person in this movie. Did you see one? Ghostface doesn't count. His face is white. It's the costume that's black.
So another problem here is that, well, now Sidney's no longer a virgin.
Yeah, it's true.
So
that's true.
She's kind of fucked herself there
by
fucking herself.
Yeah. Everybody, like, all the rules have been broken. There was no need to even say them. Pretty sure Randy literally drinks a beer as he says, "Don't drink." So
yeah, they all cheers and swig. So yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. No, sorry. I'm just. Well, what you said was words that I'm now realizing.
See, isn't it nice to have a person of color on the podcast to represent the diversity?
No. No, because that means you're token, and that's worse. You're here because you're a person, Jay.
Now, I know that you said that you can't remember the last time you watched South Park, so I want to bring up an episode.
I think I know that episode, but
where
bring it up.
we learn Token's real name.
Yeah.
And it's Tolkien.
Yep.
And Stan is the only one who didn't know that.
I believe they went back and changed all of the hard-coded subtitles
to say Tolkien now forever? Yeah. Wow.
All of the episode descriptions and everything have all been changed.
They didn't make that episode because they were getting flack about calling the one black character Token on the show. He was Token the whole time.
No, but
they made it to make fun of the flack they were getting for it.
But it's hilarious.
And then they still went back and changed the fucking subtitles.
Well, they changed his name, so they're just fucking with people.
Fine.
So is this at what point does Courteney Cox tell Dewey that his name is sexy? Because that's a pretty off-putting thing to hear.
I'm not.
I
missed that line entirely.
It's right here.
I missed that fucking line.
So we get
This is after Courteney Cox has left. We learn that there's a 30-second delay on the camera feed that they put. Don't know how you got in 1996 a wireless video camera feed to your news van. I don't think that was a thing.
No.
I think that's why newscasters were right by the van during their anchor coverage.
Yeah.
Because you had to plug it into something.
Yeah.
So this feed is just something that was thought up, potentially.
It's also crystal clear.
Yes, no, it is. For the most part, it's like 720.
I mean, for the time, it's crystal clear.
Yep.
So, yeah, they leave, and I don't... This is where, like, the awkward sex upstairs happens.
Yeah, and then Dewey and Courtney, this is when they go on the walk, and I think that's where that dialogue takes place.
Randy's sitting there. He's almost... I think he's like, oh, here's the obligatory tits scene, and that's where
and then we cut to Sidney's fucking broad-up tits. I'd rather see the naked ones in the movie.
Well, here we are. So, yeah. So then there's a fucking phone call.
And this is when the characters find out that the principal's been murdered. And so they all peel the fuck out.
Because they want to go see.
They want to go see because he's strung up on the fucking goalpost of the football field.
And they want to go see before they pry him down.
Here's my thing. Again, with the incompetent police, how is that even an option? How are we letting teenagers waltz into and onto crime scenes to look at dead bodies? There's no tape? There's no fucking roadblocks?
How about
take them down immediately? Like,
How about why
Why did anybody call Stu and tell him that?
Yeah, why was Stu's household like one of the first people to find out about this?
Great question. I'll tell you exactly why. It was a phone call from Billy to clear the place out.
Maybe. No, because this happens while they're fucking.
Oh, shit. Yes, it does.
All right.
No,
I like that,
you got
though.
me beat on that. Damn.
So, Dewey walks up to the vehicle and is like, hey, would you like to go for a walk? There's been a car reported down the road.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. So they
take this reporter who's female to a potentially dangerous situation.
As you do.
Don't worry, I'll protect. Doofy in Scary Movie, also his gun is a water gun.
Of course it is.
I just remembered that.
Of course it is.
They should have given Dewey a water gun.
Oh, they should have. That would have been too on the nose. So they're walking down the road, and this is where like the rush of people are trying to go see that dead body. They cause them to jump out of the way.
Here you go.
Here I go.
A couple things.
Number
one, Stewart made that phone call up to clear his own house out.
It's Randy that answers.
Is it Randy that answers, though?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Stu, because Randy is talking about the movie and everyone leaves and he's like, where the fuck's everybody going? And then he sits down drunk.
I thought my thought was, why is he answering the phone? This isn't his house.
He does answer the phone because of the delay thing. You get to see the fucking...
Yeah.
He obscures the camera with his big fat fucking face. And I had to rewind that and look to make sure, because it looked like he was standing, but he was still right in front of the camera. So I was like, did they just fuck that up? But no, he crawled on his knees over to the phone like an idiot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. So then Stewart plays the fucking phone call because he's not in the scene. He goes, I'll be right back.
That could very well be.
Hey, we solved it just like that.
And we'll just
investigative reporting and detective work done successfully.
We'll pretend that Randy wouldn't recognize his voice, or he's
got the
voice
modulator.
Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, everybody's fucking gone. The cops, like the people have made Dewey pull Courteney Cox off the street, and now they're mouth fucking a little bit.
Well, Courteney Cox says, well, it seems like you like me. And then Dewey takes that as a green light to get a dirty mouth kiss from somebody much mentally older than he is, instead of pursuing the people who almost killed him in a hit and run.
Yes.
Good police
Dollar
work.
store copping.
You know?
Yeah. So they kiss. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm on duty. I can't keep kissing you. And then they look, and there's the car that they're looking for.
Great. Right there.
Oh,
just by sheer coincidence alone.
And
And also, how the fuck did nobody see that car? It's 5 feet off the main road up to that house, and it has been for days.
Sure, that, and how the fuck do you know that's Neil Prescott's car, Dewey?
I don't know. Maybe he does actual police work.
Maybe.
You know?
I don't believe so, but maybe.
No, you're right.
So we cut back to Billy, who's trying to talk to Sid.
Right after banging, puts all of their clothes on, including their shoes. Is that a thing people do?
Well, yeah.
There's no like.
How do you stop yourself from getting athlete's foot?
By taking my socks off routinely. What?
You get it from dirty floors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you also get it from wearing socks constantly.
Interesting.
That's why. So if you ever, and this is actually a PSA. This is real medical advice I'm going to give everyone right now. It's gross, but if you have an ingrown toenail, cut a small V in the center of your toenail, and it will grow in to fill the gap, pulling itself away from the sides.
Or just carve your foot up.
Or you could do that horribly gross thing.
Just basically lose a toe.
We learned that to avoid doing the gross thing.
Anyway.
Yep.
So.
I know that we just fucked and it was great. I gave it up to you finally, and it was a really intimate moment for me. I noticed that you're getting dressed already. That's a little weird because maybe I'd like to cuddle, but I guess you wouldn't ask that question because you got yours, so cool.
Yeah, now...
This is the most appropriate time to question where you've been and whether or not you're a murderer.
Yeah, post-coitus... Best time to bring that shit up.
Why didn't you call me? So outing yourself now as the clingiest girlfriend on the face of the earth. You could have very easily called me because you get one phone call when you get arrested. I know that I should have been at least the forefront of your thinking should have been about me while you were being arrested and charged with murder. This just comes as a surprise to me that you didn't think about me.
Yeah. Well, before she can get any of that out,
Yeah.
to prove to her that he is not the murderer, he gets murdered. It was pretty cool.
It's true.
It's a neat way to prove it.
Hey, dude, I'm convinced.
So Ghostface kicks the door in and appears to stab the shit out of Billy.
Yeah. Interesting to note that this stabbing occurs away from Sidney.
Mm-hmm.
With Billy's back to Sidney.
In a very awkward fashion.
Yeah.
It involves two hands on the blade. It just didn't look like stabbing.
And he didn't react in the way that somebody who got stabbed would.
Yeah.
He goes like he looks like in Dragon Ball Z when somebody gets kicked really hard in the stomach.
Yeah.
He does that
eyes
thing
wide
there.
open.
Oh! And then he turns around and he acts. There's this video of the greatest death scene in any movie. It's on YouTube if you want to look it up.
Okay.
It's some really low budget Spanish like spy movie from the 70s maybe, 70s or 80s. Anyway, a guy gets shot in the chest and he dies for 2 on-screen minutes. He's just
I think I've seen this.
For way too long for a person to do that. Anyway, that's how Billy fucking acts when he gets stabbed.
I do believe I've seen this.
I'm sure that you have.
So after Billy gets stabbed there's a chase scene again.
This is when I was like, what's this house? Like, is this house built in the 4th dimension?
Yeah, she MC Eschers her way up to the attic. I don't know how she does it.
She finds more doors than should be in a house to close in Ghostface's Ghostface.
Mm-hmm. Well, by the way, speaking of his Ghostface, and Tatum slams that fridge door in his face.
Yeah, just opens
so
the
good.
freezer and like clotheslines like the Undertaker. This whole scene, like this and the fight scene later, the end of this movie is Mankind versus Undertaker. Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Steel cage match.
So Randy's either drunk or just super into this fucking movie. We keep cutting back to him.
I think he's super drunk, and you can't be that drunk. I've been blackout drunk in my life. And if there was a murder being committed in my house, I would hear it.
That's fair. You're not so drunk that you're so concerned with Jamie Lee Curtis turning around?
That you don't hear the man with big old boots creeping up behind you on the wood floor?
He's so busy. First of all, he's screaming, Jamie, turn around.
Yep. At the same time that he should be turning around.
And his name is Jamie.
I didn't even think about that. Holy shit.
So...
That's fucking fantastic. Oh, that's good. Because he could have said Lori.
Yeah. But
that's
no.
Great. All right.
And
fucking love this movie for shit like that.
Oh, fuck. So good.
It really goes like, thank you for liking movies. You know?
It does. This was a movie for movies.
Yeah, dude.
So Sid falls out the window. Ghostface doesn't chase her because...
I guess he assumes she's dead.
She lands on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
In fairness, it's just a tarp over the boat. Like, I don't know what kind of padding, like why they're putting those gym mats that you use for high jump inside the boat and covering them with a tarp, but she's like just fine.
Probably just for water damage or something.
Okay.
So she, while this is happening, she runs to that like news van out front and gets in there where the guy's totally fucking passed out on the job.
Oh yeah, asleep when he should be doing work.
Really, Courteney Cox might have been more astute with these cuss words.
Yep.
Than we thought.
He's not only asleep, he's asleep mid-Cheeto.
That's not a good look.
And they're Crunch Cheetos, too.
So, they're watching the camera.
Yeah.
And they can see that this guy is sneaking up on Randy.
Mm-hmm.
So while he's screaming, watch out behind you, Jamie, they're like, hey, watch out behind you. And they're shouting it at the screen as well.
As if there was a microphone attached.
Hilarious. Why is he screaming it as well?
Yep.
So
that's fine. No, that's fucking good.
The I don't know, the cameraman, I guess we'll call him.
Yeah.
He looks outside to see that the door is locked, or the door is open because he was going to run in there and try and help him. The door is open.
Right. And he's like, oh, fuck, the feed.
Yeah, so he looks at the feed to see the 30-second delay to see where Ghostface went.
Well, guess where?
Around a corner. We're fine. No big deal. Just some fucking corner is all. And so he turns around to go save him, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
Whoop, zip.
Just
unzips his neck like a nice shirt.
Yeah.
Like a windbreaker.
Really lets the air into the throat.
Yeah, that's good. The reason Sorry, not the reason why, but as this is happening, and this is like, I can't, but if I could see past the fact that Randy heard none of the violent commotion of a struggle for one's life in a room adjacent to him while he's awake, when I lose it is somehow, so Ghostface is looming over Randy, about to stab him. Like, probably through the top of his fucking head because the guy's clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Outside, Sidney yells, "Help me." And Ghostface hears that, but Randy doesn't.
Yeah, there's that. He also just doesn't take a second to stab him in the top of the head and...
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I can leave.
Yeah, there. This is one problem taken care of. But no, yeah, so I don't know how he didn't... I didn't think about that. I tried not to think about that.
No, that's what happened.
So
fucking, yeah, cameraman gets his goddamn throat cut. Sidney is now in the news van. Now, here's the problem. There's a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Sidney doesn't really know how confined spaces work. She's in a news van.
Yeah.
There's 3 entrances.
She goes for the tiniest one.
It's Ghostface outside.
He gets a stab in on her.
He does. And then she closes the door. I don't remember how it opens, but it opens. And he comes in and she decides to go out the back. Here's my question. When did the back doors to the van open? For Sidney to crawl out.
I'm shrugging my shoulders for those of you at home.
Here's my second question. Did Ghostface really think that it would be easier to muscle his way through a tiny crawl space instead of just going around the outside of the van?
He did, because I saw him try and do it.
And he failed.
Yes, he did.
That was a mistake. This movie would have been over 20 minutes earlier had he been smarter.
Yeah, he really could have offed everybody.
That fucking with ease, bro. Question number 3. When did he have time to put the corpse of the cameraman on the top of the van?
Hey, question number 4. Why didn't Courteney Cox see the goddamn huge corpse?
The human torso hanging down over the windshield while she's driving the van away?
Yeah.
Great.
So she opens the van door to find the loudest puddle of blood. This thing is dripping at full decibels.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't see that before hearing it.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't notice that the window of the van was covered in blood when you likely approached it. Yep. Let's be honest. So she gets in there. Because Dewey's like, hey, go lock yourself in the van. Van's covered in fucking blood, Dewey.
It's probably not a good place to lock yourself into. Obviously, the killer knows where that is.
Yeah. So she gets into the fucking thing, and does she call 911?
Yes, she does.
She dials 911 on a cell phone, and then Randy puts his head through the window, and she bashes his. Oh, she gives him
dude.
She gives him more than one.
She's got the driver's side window down despite being told to lock herself in a van, which would imply also roll up the fucking windows, idiot. And then Randy shows up while she's trying to dial 911 and just like 4 of them.
Yeah. Oh,
and he
gets
just stands there and fucking takes it too.
Oh, he doesn't. He's not standing for long. That man crumples.
He stood there for 3 hits too many. All right, get out of the way.
So yeah, she goes to take off, and as she lurches forward, the cameraman slides down onto the window.
But you also had to hit the wipers for all the blood.
Yeah.
So assume, and then if you thought Tatum was disrespectful,
this is the most disrespectful move of the movie.
Courteney Cox is so. She fucking hates this cameraman so bad that she drifts a corner with the express purpose of flinging his corpse into a fence.
Oh,
and he demos it. Holy shit.
It's so good.
So rude.
She then, after drifting, nearly misses Sidney, causing her to go, of course, crash her van into a tree.
I don't know what it is with distressed damsels in horror movies and jumping out in front of moving vehicles as if they're probably not going to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they're speeding. Like, Gail's trying to get the fuck out of there. There's dead bodies.
She's going so fast that a single swerve ends it all.
It does. And it would. At that point, I go with the deer philosophy. What's another one? This is already riddled with bodies everywhere. What's one more? I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Why
I'm
would you
get
take
out
the blame
in front
for
of my
this?
fucking van? Exactly.
There's a murderer.
It's fine. So fucking Gail smokes it. She beelines for and smokes a tree with that van. She didn't even try to steer out of the way.
Sidney runs back to the house to find Dewey stabbed.
Mm-hmm. You don't think that he is at first, but then he turns around, there's a knife in his back.
Yeah. By his tone, he's just very concerned. Sidney.
Yeah.
Sidney. I've been stabbed.
Like a parent that's about to scold her for leaving, for not being home before curfew.
For not having, you said parent. I thought you said parent. I was like, for not having enough crackers.
Sidney, where are my saltines, Sidney?
Oh, fuck.
So then, Ghostface makes his appearance, and Sidney, I don't understand this. We jump into Dewey's car, right? And we lock one side. That's the passenger side. That's the side that's facing the house that Ghostface tries to get to first. Mm. And then he must take the fucking detour through China to get to the driver's side fucking of this paddy wagon, because she has as much time as she needed to hand crank shut a fully open window.
I wrote down that, like, the hand crank is, like, the least convenient thing.
Oh, it is. Holy fuck. That's from a time where there weren't necessarily seatbelts in every car. All right?
Yeah. Like, rolling a window up is not something you can do with urgency.
All right.
It's a very casual thing.
No. And also, like, you can't emphatically do it in order to punctuate a conversation either. That's like trying to slam a saloon door.
Oh, my God.
Anybody listening at home, call up your great-great-great-grandmother and ask to borrow her car, and then time how long it takes to roll a window up by hand.
Yeah.
And then see if you can run around from one side of the car to the other in that time.
See how good it feels to roll up to a traffic stop where there's a homeless guy collecting money and have to do that.
He's touching the car! Oh my God, African Lion Safari.
So
Ghostface like fucking goes to play like a little fun game. I'll pop this lock. I'll pop this lock because I got the keys outside.
Right. So apparently he's got a mechanism button to unlock these doors, but still we're not having the one for the. It must be like an installed thing.
Yeah, it's not an automatic window roller. Also, why are you dragging this out if you have the button? Guess what? Button, open door.
Stab, 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 stab. Done.
30. I'm gonna go take a nap because it's the middle of the day and I'm done.
Instead, we get this shot of her looking concerned as you see the back tailgate thing slowly open up, and he kind of worms his way in.
This is the last time that I will deliberately take note of the incompetence of the police force in this town.
Okay.
While that trunk is opening, Sidney is not calling to, responding to a dispatch over the CB in the police car saying that there is a murderer and that she is going to be killed. She has to call the cops a second time later on for them to actually show up.
Well, she didn't give the address.
Yes, she did, twice.
Did she?
Fuck yeah, she did.
Then these are bad. I'm sorry, I'm trying to come up with excuses for the police.
She fucking gave that address 2 times, once louder than the last.
Oh, boy. So this is...
It might have just been once. I was pretty sure it was twice, though.
I don't know how does she get out of... Oh, she gives him... I think she kicks... Who does she kick him?
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, she's got fucking martial arts training out the ass. I don't remember how she gets out of the fucking car at all.
I think she gives him a boot and just
something
slips
like that.
out.
Yeah, I think she just turns around and boots him in the face and then goes out the passenger door onto the ground, and then he's gone. And he slips underneath, but then he opens the trunk, so he just disappears at that point.
So now she's got Dewey's gun.
Yeah.
And somebody
went back to the front of the house. Yeah. And then it's Randy.
And he is bloody.
From being hit with a phone.
Yeah.
It's the brick phones, you know? It's
a
fucking brick phone from 1996. It'll do that to you.
Built to last.
Back when you had to fight off your own husband when he was drunk.
I mean, you still have to sometimes. It's not a good time to be alive. It's never a good time to be alive.
If you're a woman.
Okay. Unfortunately. So it's both Randy and Stewart, and neither of them are the killer, or so they want you to believe.
Yeah, they're gonna accuse each other.
It's a real who's who. If they looked the same, they would have done the thing where they swap each other a bunch.
That Spider-Man meme where it's just Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man accusatorily.
Yeah. So instead of making a decision on who she's gonna murder,
Sidney does the smart thing.
Fuck you both.
I'll just, close the door on both your faces and let you guys sort it out.
Yep.
And they don't sort it out at all. It just goes quiet. And I don't understand that.
I assume one of them just ran, because doesn't Randy go around to the back or something? He comes in,
so he gets plugged later. He just shows up. But like what I'm saying is, given what we know about Stu,
right? So what? Yeah. So what happens is Billy comes down the stairs and he's still alive.
Yeah, well, he falls down the stairs alive,
and he gets the gun.
Mm-hmm. That was a whole show just to get the gun.
Yeah, and then he lets Randy in. He opens the door. Randy comes running in.
Where's Stu?
Blam.
Yeah.
Takes out Randy.
Bop, shoulder.
Randy goes flying.
Yeah, he does.
He falls through a table.
And it's a high caliber slug.
And then this is when Billy's like, "Oh yeah, corn syrup. This is what they make fake blood out of."
Yeah, just like they use a pig's blood in Carrie.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Carrie.
And yeah, so the only person she should have been listening to this whole time was Randy.
That's right.
Well, when he says that Stuart's gone mad, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, yes.
He may always have been.
Yeah, judging by the...
I don't remember a time in this movie where he didn't seem it.
Yeah. Knowing what we know now. Boy, oh boy.
They fucking bring Sidney into the... I didn't write a whole lot for this because I remember it.
Yeah.
They bring Sidney into the fucking kitchen and they cart Dad out for the big surprise, the big reveal. And this is why Sidney was kept alive this whole time. Because we're Bond villains, and we're going to explain our entire plan to the one person who could stop us.
Yep.
That makes sense.
That's what happens.
So they bring Dad out of a closet. Turns out he's been tied up for fucking days in that closet, so he's probably pissed. And the plan is, Stu and Billy are the killers. They're going to stab each other non-lethally. Billy gets a little carried away.
Does he ever?
Just a mean guy.
Well, Stuart gives him a stab that's a little too much.
Stu's just a nice dude. He's trying to be like friends with his bud who he thinks is cool. It's like that. It's like the Looney Tunes with Spike and the little dog.
Yeah,
it's totally that.
It is.
What are we doing today, Spike? Well, we're gonna commit some murders.
And then we're gonna frame the father.
And then anytime Matthew Lillard gets too excited, he just goes, "Shut up!"
But instead of
basically, it's a knife in his fucking stomach 3 times. Yeah. So we're gonna stab each other non-lethally, and we're gonna make it seem like we were left for dead by your father, who is actually the killer. So we cloned his phone, and we're gonna put a bunch of evidence in his pockets, despite the fact that once again I've touched it all. All of my fingerprints and blood are going to be all over this evidence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in order to frame him, we're going to make it seem like he killed you and then himself. You'd have to untie him first. Forensics in the 90s were already at the point where they could tell whether something was a murder or suicide based on whether or not you could hold a gun to your head.
Yeah, I would say the majority of the forensic files I've watched took place in the 90s. Trust me, they had files that were forensic back then.
They fucking sure were. And I bet you at the top of every one of those files is just a little disclaimer. If there's a guy tied up and somebody says it was a suicide, probably a lie.
Well, what, did he kill himself and then tie himself up? Something's not adding up here.
What, did he pull the trigger with his toe like Kurt Cobain?
Wow.
Yep.
I've seen diagrams. It couldn't have happened.
Anyway, this is when we learn that Sidney's mom apparently just had a bomb-ass puss. Fucking snapping puss. Just
Jesus Christ.
Swallow you whole like a Sarlacc pit.
Oh my God.
Because guess why Billy's mom left?
Well, I'm going to guess it's got something to do with Sidney's mom's...
This top-notch flower we're dealing with? This is top of the line, bud.
This is Quad A.
Oh my God,
Quad A. So turns out Sidney's mom has been all over town.
Yeah.
Giving Billy's dad the business, which caused his mom to split, which, by the way, can be compared to a mother being murdered.
Apparently,
it's the same thing.
It's the exact fucking same.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So that was enough to just... She should be murdered.
It also caused, Billy's brain to split.
We definitely shouldn't be mad at Billy's dad or anything.
No, for fucking around? Nah.
Yeah, nah.
Nah, dude.
Nah.
You can't. With fucking... Again, dude, you swim with mermaids, you're going to get dragged to the bottom.
Oh, no.
All right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole plan. That's the whole fucking plan. there's an element that I feel like I'm missing. Oh yeah, by the way, you didn't fuck me enough. But now that you did, I'm going to make fun of you because I'm crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You certainly gave it up to this psycho, didn't you? This fucking whack job.
Yeah, he does. He says almost that word for word.
Holy shit. This whole time, Matthew Lillard's in the background just like slowly losing the ability to keep spit in his mouth.
Oh my god, he really goes off in this scene.
Eventually he just doesn't give a fuck and he's like, listen, it's a waterfall in here.
The whole movie he's been holding back apparently because in this scene he goes off.
Yeah, just like a hungry dog and I brought food to the table.
Oh boy. So yeah, the
back and forth stabby stab.
Yeah,
stab,
that
stab,
happens. And then they go, all right, so let's get the gun. Let's shoot this old man and we're going to kill you. Where's the gun?
Oh, that's funny. While we were busy stabbing each other, I lost track of it by putting on the counter behind us.
And then fucking Courteney Cox from Friends?
Surprise!
Wow. It's, I forget her name in Friends. It's not Rachel, but it's the other one. It's not Phoebe. Monica.
There you go.
It's Monica from Friends!
I know it seemed like probably at home if you're listening that I was waiting for him to get there. I didn't know. I had no idea what it was.
Jay was mouthing the words to me.
Oh.
So yeah, Courteney Cox is back and, well, Courteney Cox has got a gun.
Yes, she does. And
I believe, at some point Matthew Lillard, says that, says something to the effect, oh, no. So they're stabbing each other and they're about to lose consciousness.
Well, Matthew Lillard is because he's getting the short end of the dick on this one.
And then they at some point, like, they're arguing and then the daddy-daughter get up and leave.
Yeah.
I don't know where when that happened.
It's when Courteney Cox shows up with a gun because then they're drawn in to the front room.
Right.
For somehow fucking Billy has spec ops training and can tell when fucking safety is on or off from 20 feet away.
He's got hawk eyes.
Anyway, it turns out fucking Courteney Cox doesn't know shit about guns enough to turn the safety on or off rather. And so he fucking, I can't remember what he does, but he just knocks her out. He just like plugs her in the head with something.
He gives her a kick down the stairs and she lands on David
Arquette.
Yeah,
sure. Okay. And then safety. And then we return to the kitchen and they've disappeared.
And
Matthew Lillard is losing it slowly.
Yeah,
not in the brain, in the body.
I believe he gets the phone thrown at him.
Fucking oh my god. Okay, so Sidney calls with the voice modulator because they just dropped that. Oh, they put it in her dad's pocket.
Yeah, as they reveal the whole thing, they pull out a voice thing.
Yeah.
And this is where you hear both the voices, and it sounds nothing like the killer's voice at all.
No,
but
or like a modulated voice because you can still hear the original.
Yeah,
didn't need to do that.
No.
And goes, I called the cops. Thus, she had to call the cops again. And she used the fucking shitty burner phone from the pocket as well, probably.
And then I think Matthew Lillard, he's like, did you really call the cops?
Dude.
My parents.
My mom and dad are going to be so mad at me. And then, Billy gets angry at a couch and tears it apart and then comes back just long enough to take the phone and chuck it at Matthew Lillard.
Yep.
And then he goes, you hit me with the phone, dick. It's my favorite fucking line in the movie. Oh, fuck.
I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't a line and he accidentally did hit him with the phone.
Probably just hurt too bad, worse than he was expecting. Oh my fucking god.
So we get Billy ripping the house apart trying to find the daddy-daughter duo.
Not ripping the house apart. Ripping a couch apart.
Okay.
And then he just goes into another room and touches nothing.
Okay, fine. What I said was fucking wrong.
He just hates the color red and feathers.
And he also learns a certain hate, I guess, for umbrellas and things popping out of nowhere and stabbing him with them.
How does it feel? Oh, how the turntables. Now it's me with something sharp and pointy in the closet.
Yeah, and he gets
I think it's the same. It's Stu's house, so it's not the same closet. But
he gets penguined.
He does, a couple times.
And then I think they start this. They Matthew Lillard comes in and starts fighting with her. I don't know why.
Well,
what happened to his blood loss?
He's barely alive.
He must have put the
adrenaline's a motherfucker.
All right, fine. He's just scooping his blood back up, putting it back in.
Yeah. He's drinking it.
So they fight for a bit. There's a tussle, and he's like, I always had a thing for you. And then I believe
She fucking drops Halloween on his head, all right?
Yeah.
She drops Halloween on his head so hard that he gets electrocuted to death.
Well, it's a fat back TV with a real glass screen, so that busts and you're fucked.
So, Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors.
Yes.
One of the deaths is Freddy is a television, and he grabs the chick by the shoulders and shoves her head into a TV.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Here we are again, Wes.
Here we are again.
Decent, good death. I was happy with it. He fucking flops around like a silly cartoon ass fish.
That was probably the best death in the whole film.
Yeah,
considering.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this, there's a fucking tussle. Randy's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
He gets punched.
He does.
Well, Billy's, proclaiming how happy he was. Or no, sorry. Randy was like, I'm happy I'm a virgin. I'm still alive. And then he gets decked.
He did right away. Yeah.
And so there's a tussle. And Sidney ends up jamming her finger into the umbrella hole.
Yeah, that's good and gross and torturous.
Yeah.
It turns out you probably are a little bit traumatized from the murder you saw. Whoops.
And then it's Courteney Cox to the rescue.
Yeah, it turns out she wakes up just in time. Now, when Sidney pops out of the closet, she's wearing the Ghostface costume. Don't know when or how you got that, but kudos. And then she picks up the gun, and I thought it would have been funny if the cops just showed up right then. Got him!
That'd be very Night of the Living Dead.
There's the killer right there. They're still wearing it and having the gun.
Yep.
That was easy.
Very Night of the Living Dead.
They clearly are willing to arrest people for less evidence than that.
Yeah. We gotta hold you until we get your phone records.
Yeah. That's not true. That's not in the laws.
These days you would just flip the app open and let them scroll through your different times. 9/11 again, changed everything. He's
when and also I wrote down during the Stu fight, that's the point in the movie where you have the most obvious stunt double. Now, Stu, Matthew Lillard in this movie, I don't know how old, maybe 20. I would say he's all of 180 pounds. Maybe. And he's tall, so maybe less. He's a very skinny man, is my point.
Okay.
The stunt double looks like Ron fucking Swanson.
I did not notice that.
The stunt double has a full head of curly hair and facial hair and a barrel chest. Matthew Lillard can't even lift a barrel in this movie.
I didn't notice any of that.
Holy shit, it's funny.
Oh, shit.
Not during the TV part. I think that was him. But when Neve Campbell flips him in the hallway,
right,
it's so much just a Mexican guy.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
Oh God, he gets flipped a lot. I think even Tatum flips him when that's how she escapes. She runs towards the door. She does like a little duck and flip and throws him on the stairs.
That's his favorite thing to do is get hit by doors and get flipped. Stu also, Stu gets killed by the very thing that turned him into a killer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is horror movies.
At some point, Sid's like, you guys watch too many movies. And then it's either
Billy's like, fuck no, it's not. Don't blame the movies. But at the same time, Stu's like, yeah.
Yeah, but don't blame the movies, but blame the movies.
Stu literally goes, we watched a bunch of horror movies and took some notes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's how easy it is to frame somebody. We just had a bunch of fiction and then we made some nonfiction.
The ending of the movie has 6 false endings in it.
Does it?
That's all the times that somebody comes to save the day and then either gets knocked out or shot or stabbed.
Okay, yeah.
Billy dies 3 times.
Yep.
Actually 4 if you count him being stabbed upstairs, but obviously that was fake.
So Randy, the movie ends with Randy being like, this is the part where there's a jump scare when he's not actually dead.
And there is one.
And then Courtney just shoots him in the fucking head and is not in my movie.
There in between there is a bit of one because he gets up and reaches out.
Yeah, and she immediately just
right away
doesn't fuck around,
which is good. I'm glad.
And then the movie ends with Courteney Cox saying the words "scary movie" as she reports on what happened there.
She goes back into the scene of a crime of which she was a witness in order to further contaminate it with a new camera crew that just showed up inexplicably.
Now she's a big time reporter. She shot somebody in the head and they died. So now she gets to be a big time reporter. You're rewarded by shooting children in the head. Did you not know that?
Also, Sidney totally forgot that she left her dad in the closet because he falls out with like an ironing board.
That's right. Yeah.
She didn't even untie him.
How the fuck?
Just stay in the closet.
How the fuck did she drag that old man?
Yeah, quietly. Also.
Must have been some real captivating shit.
And that's Scream, everybody.
That is Scream.
7 out of 10.
I also gave it a 7.
Hey!
All right. It's nice when we agree on
page.
things.
Yeah, I agree. Look at that. It's nice again. Because I just agreed about that. We're getting meta as fuck.
God, we are...
3.5 hours into a podcast?
That, and we're just on the same page, and it's just a book with one page.
Yep.
So there's no other page to be on.
And that page is just a big thumbs up, and underneath it says, "You did it."
It's a sticker.
My teacher gave it to me.
All right.
What do you got for me?
I was pretty pissed off.
Why is that?
Because I'm not going to lie, I had my themes before I even watched the movie.
Think about our cohesion real quick, all right?
Mm-hmm.
We watched Scream this week. Last week, we watched Freddy vs. Jason. Mm-hmm. How many fucking Freddy Krueger references there were in there?
Yep. So, look, I'll tell you right now, I was pissed.
Yep.
Here are my 3. I had these before I watched the movie.
Okay.
Masked Killer. And wouldn't you know it, boy oh boy, didn't they go ahead and just mention the movie I had in mind 1,000 times. So
Love it. Whoops.
It's not going to be Halloween.
Okay.
Then we got Friends.
Did you pick a different movie for that?
I did.
You did, okay. Friends has a double meaning because of Courteney Cox.
It only has one meaning, and it's the Courteney Cox David Arquette duo.
Okay.
So, I mean, also they hung out on a goddamn fountain.
Yeah, they did.
So,
you're right.
Friends.
Okay.
And then phone calls.
Well, we're not doing When a Stranger Calls because I can't stand it.
That wasn't what I had.
That wasn't
what I had.
So if it's one missed call,
it's not one missed call.
It's not one missed call. So if it's The Caller,
it's not The Caller.
So if it's The Ring, hey!
You can't just go through every movie with a phone in it.
Oh, dude, no, literally you can't do that. I mean, you probably could, but I don't have a fucking didactic memory, so there's no way. Friends in between there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mask Killer, but it's not Halloween.
Yeah, it was going to be Halloween.
There's so many fucking mask killers. There could be any.
Well, it was going to be White Masked Killer.
Oh!
And then it was
getting racial. I mean, I insist.
No. It was just like, look at them.
All right, well, as much as I love The Ring, because I guessed it, I'm not going to pick it.
Okay.
I don't know what Friends is, and there's more masked killers.
I know.
Than I have dicks and balls on me.
I know. I was mad about it because I had a perfect one, and then all of a sudden I was like, well, I'm not going to... This one's too easy now.
Fuck it. We're going to go with Masked Killer, and if it's fucking Happy Death Day, I will leave this house.
Well, it's not.
Okay, good.
It's My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, which one?
This is dealer's choice.
At the behest of my friend, we have to do the one with Jensen Ackles in it.
Is it the new one or the old one?
That's the one that came out in 3D.
Okay, so the new one.
06, but I could be wrong on that.
I haven't seen any of them, so okay. Dealer's choice. I don't.
Well, the other one's from fucking 78, and I don't really feel like going back that far right now.
Mm-hmm. Me either. So you picked Masked Killer.
Yeah.
And why did you pick that over Friends?
Because I had no fucking idea what Friends could possibly be, but I could only assume it was about a duo of killers as well, and it's not. So
no. It would have been Leprechaun with Jennifer Aniston. I honestly was going to go through and see if any of the other cast members had been in horror movies.
Leprechaun, also known as Chucky Gets Lucky.
Well, I haven't seen that one either.
Because it's a tiny man in a costume.
Oh, yeah.
And also he's a leprechaun.
Oh, yeah. And he murders people, I think.
Oh, fuck yeah, he does.
I don't know. I've not seen it.
He also, it would have been funny to do that one after Freddy vs. Jason as well, because there's a sequel to Leprechaun called Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Yeah, I know about that.
In which Leprechaun takes fat bong rips.
I've seen the
picture. Out of like a skull or something.
He had to learn how to do it. So there's a picture.
Is that Vern Troyer also?
No,
it's not.
There's a picture of somebody teaching him how to do it.
Amazing.
It's so good.
I don't know how seriously I could take that little man.
Well, it doesn't. It would have been a delight. Honestly, I was like, "Hey, did we? I think we've missed St. Patrick's Day."
Oh shit! That's right. Easter's coming up.
I don't know any Easter ones. I'm sure there's a bunch, like fucking Easter Monday or I don't know.
I don't know. I can't think. None
There's
come
got
right to
to
mind.
be some real bad ones.
There's probably one with just a straight up rabbit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a monster
that
bunny
kills
of some kind.
Yeah.
So My Bloody Valentine and not Leprechaun
My
or
Bloody
The
Valentine 3D. This will be funny for a different reason.
Okay.
I had this movie ruined for me in a theater.
I remember.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let's fucking go.
Well, that's the podcast.
Grindhouse Movie Club.
That's 3.5
Fellas
hours.
and folks.
Not bad.
Bam. Just like that. That's what, see, when we're a little late uploading a podcast, sometimes you get more podcasts.
Do you have anything you want to end the podcast with?
Grindhousemovie.club. Thank you, Andrew, for the intro song.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.